Mike's told no lies. JT will win.
I don't know anything, Coach.
Then say you don't know and come on about JT. There's your opportunity. You're in
No,
first place.
nothing's gonna be right. You're gonna beat all of us. Who's gonna be in? You're gonna wipe us off the floor. That's
For
Okay,
God's
great.
sake,
If I'm gonna win and JT's gonna win and Ryron's gonna win because Ryron has 4 friends on the jury, like what the
There's
fuck?
no way.
Obviously,
There's no way.
Logan,
Mike-
you can stop moving your hands around because you're not in the game. So you can just turn your camera off because you're irrelevant to this right now.
There's
Anyway,
no way that you could have left
JT is
Mike
going to win
here.
the game if JT's left in the game. Ryron is going to win the game if they are left in the game. They have 4 people on the jury. JT's played the best game. Trevor, you know it. Tiara, you know it. I've been trying to tell you this from the beginning, Tiara. You've been playing on the bottom of the alliance. Trevor, you asked me today. You've been playing from the bottom. JT will win, Ryron will win. So Ryron, if you think that I can beat you and JT can beat you, you still have 2 people in the game that can beat you.
Then
Why
I guess
would
we'll
you
see what
take out
happens
one of
next
them?
tribal.
What?
Well, I cannot speak for Ryron, but I can say that there is no. My goal is to make it to the end with people I can beat, and I can't beat you, Kylie. And I know that you and Mike were inseparable, so Mike has to go so that you eventually can go.
I don't have
Just say it.
I don't have any problem with that. From your standpoint, it's great, JT.
Yeah.
Byron, it's not great. You've been saying it from the merge vote that JT needs to go.
And you don't think I can figure it out?
No, I think you can figure it out. But you still supposedly have 2 people that can beat you instead of only having 1 person that can beat you. I don't think I can beat you either.
And I'll beat you both.
Correct, you will.
Yeah, maybe.
Hello.
Maybe.
So
Ryron will beat
you can say
Ryron will
maybe,
beat
but we'll
us.
see if you're still in the game next week.
Debatable. It's debatable.
I know. Ryron will beat us. JT will beat us. Like, what the fuck? It's that simple. Ryron has 4 people on the boat that are locked in for them. JT has run the game from the beginning. So there you go.
If
Trevor,
you think that
Tiara, Destiny, congratulations. You just put 3 people that everyone says is going to beat the 3 of y'all. So instead of taking out one of those people, even if you want to take me out next, that's fine. But you still didn't take out one of the 3 people that everyone thinks can beat everybody else.
Well, I don't. First of all, I don't know why everyone is saying that I can beat everyone. I may have played a
JT,
good,
you say you can beat everybody.
good game, but I also played a very messy game, and everyone on the jury can't stand me. So
No one on the
It was
jury
really messy.
can't stand half of the people in here. But Tiara, Trevor, Destiny, everyone is saying the 3 of y'all haven't done anything, and you've left in 3 people that you're all saying, hey, if Kylie's at the end, she's going to beat everybody. If Ryron's at the end, they're going to beat everybody. If JT's at the end, they're going to beat everybody. Well, that's facts. Big
let's
facts.
go to Rocks next tribal. Come on, guys.
Go to
It's
Rock.
fun. Let's go to Rocks.
That is fine.
If there's 3 people that aren't going to win the game and 3 people that are going to win the game, let's just tie it up. Make
I'm
it
not saying they can't win. Y'all are the ones saying that they can't
wait,
win.
hold on. Did you
I've
not literally
never-
just say
I've
that
never
people are
said
saying that?
that Trevor can't win.
People
I
are
said that
saying
Trevor will. I said that
People are
Trevor can
saying
beat me multiple
You can't
times.
beat JT, you can't beat Ryron, and y'all are saying people can't beat me. That's out of y'all's mouths. I'm taking that. Taking what you said.
You've been in the majority, like in the group of every single vote except for this one. And this is the one that you're popping off on.
Right, because JT popped off. So I made a comment back.
I didn't pop off. All I said was I just found it very interesting that in our chat, we all knew that this was going to happen, and we all knew that we couldn't beat Ryron. So why we all didn't just get Ryron out when we had the chance?
JT, you were throwing my name out as soon as Logan got voted out the other night.
I was not.
You were. Big facts.
I never threw your name
I had
out.
multiple people tell me.
When somebody tells me your name, of course I'm gonna say yeah, because you're a threat and you need to go. I never said I want Kylie out the game.
Where you, JT, spelled it out for people, not other people saying it to you. Where you went.
I would love to know who said that. I would love to know who said that.
Ryron did, and Destiny.
Ryron, I told you that I wanted Kylie out the game before you told me that you would like Kylie out the game.
Yes.
True or
well,
false?
no.
That's false.
That's false. No, that's true. I did say I wanted Kylie out. So I'm going to tell you what I want you to hear.
True or false? Twice when I have gotten off a Zoom call in our alliance of you, me, Trevor, and JT, twice when I got off early, did you tell them that I had to go and that I couldn't be trusted?
Yes.
True. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what?
But did I not say? But I have told Mike multiple times. I've told Mike, Destiny, and Trevor multiple times that I was true to our group, and we have all discussed that when we got down to the 5, we would fight it out, let the best man win, as long as the other side was all the way out the game.
JT.
We said that multiple times.
So which would you rather go with? Somebody that you've not voted with the entire game in Ryron, or me, who has voted with you every time? The reason why this position has come up is because you start throwing my name out.
No, sugar. What I'm telling you.
Yes, Daddy.
No.
Not like this.
I did not throw. If someone mentioned your name to me, of course I'm going to agree to it. You don't ever tell someone no. The only person whose name is thrown out at me that I would say no to was Trevor's. That's it. Anyone else, I'm going to say, sure, let's do it. Because you tell people what they want to hear. It's Survivor.
Sure.
Yes.
But yet, every single time I came to that chat, I was very honest and told everybody what I was going to do.
I didn't hear it from you that you were throwing my name out.
Listen, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I never threw your name out to anyone. People were throwing your name out to me, and I agreed to it, like I do everyone else in this game. I never said, let's get Kylie out.
Okay.
Ever.
So then,
I know I did.
Because I was true to the core. Now, when we got down, once Ryron and Tiara gone, oh, you better believe I was going to have a chat with Destiny, Mike, and Trevor like, Kylie has got to get the fuck out of here. Oh, absolutely. Because we would have been down to our core group that we work together and that we've already discussed and established that all of us can't make it to Final Tribal. So somebody has got to go.
Okay.
And granted, you were trying to take the shot before we got there. You got caught. And now the one person that would have helped you vote me out is gone. Granted, there's still a couple people in the game that might still try to help you vote me out, but the one person that I can guarantee was gonna vote with you.
Sure, and like I said, it's for you, JT, it's not a bad move. It's a great move.
Right.
You're right. You absolutely should have voted Mike out here. And Mike and I knew that was a distinct possibility.
Right.
No doubt. Like, we knew that there was a very good chance that was going to happen.
Right.
So, were you true to the core? Were you true to the core group, or were you not?
But let's be honest.
I was true until I heard my name. Let me tell you, when me and Trevor have been talking for the last 2 days, trying to figure out which group to go with, like true talking all day, both days, trying to figure out who to go with. We just decided. Right before we got on that call, right before Tribal.
Okay.
We had just decided.
Okay, because when was your name thrown out?
My name has been out since you won immunity. Like immediately after you won immunity, Mike was already in inboxes. As soon as you won. I don't even think Josh had ended the call yet. As soon as you won.
I don't see the lie. Like, the first thing that I heard was JT's name.
Well, I mean, obviously, the people that have lied to you again and again are going to tell you what you want to hear, just like JT just said about my name. Like,
It's kind of funny to see that, like, the people who lied to me over and over are now so mad that I lied to them.
I'm not mad at you.
And my thing
Ryron,
is,
great move.
And
Ryron,
I'm not mad.
Good idea. JT, good idea. Tiara, Trevor, Destiny, terrible idea. And y'all two both know it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the best
fucking
path
know
for
it
anybody's
too.
game but mine is.
What'd you say?
I said I don't know what the best path for anybody's game but my own is, because that's for
Right,
me to
for
figure
you,
out, and that's for
great
them to
move.
figure out.
And if the final three ends up being Tiara, Trevor, and Destiny, then I'm gonna say it was a great fucking move. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the likelihood of it being those three in the finale is slim to none.
Well, we just had tribal council, and for the first time since the merge, the vote did not go how I wanted it to, and Mike got voted out, so not a good situation. Great move on JT's part. That just adds to JT's resume. I mean, I guess it's an okay move on Ryron. I mean, Ryron stuck it to me and Mike because we've lied to them. But for Trevor, Destiny, and Tiara, it's a terrible move. I have a hard time seeing where the three of them could ever win the game. And tonight, by not getting out a big threat, that pretty much solidifies the fact that they're not going to go.
They're gonna keep trying, and they're gonna keep missing. Granted, they might like they might catch me slipping like while I'm playing the live game, because like I might be busy during the day and I can't like get my phone. They might catch me slipping, but if they do, if they let me get past that one tribal that I'm gonna be fucking playing the live game, it's over for them. Like they better. I'm telling you, bro. Like I'm gonna demolish all of them in the final tribal. They have to vote me out, bro. Like they have to vote me out. Like I don't see, like, and I don't toot my horn very much because I am a very messy Survivor player sometimes. But I have played the fuck out of this game. Like literally played the fuck out of this game. I should have gone home multiple times. There's been 5 votes since the merge, 6 votes since the merge. I would say for 2 of them. So they had 4 chances to vote me out, and they didn't. 4 fucking chances. And the time that I played my idol, I didn't even get any fucking votes. So, listen, I'm not saying I'm a fucking Survivor savant or like the greatest player ever, because I hate arrogant people. But I played the fuck out of this game. So if I'm not on the jury and I don't win this game, I'm just putting a bomb in the Atlantic Ocean, bro. Like I'm blowing everybody out because yo, they need to vote me out. Like this was a really stupid move.
We got Mike out, me, JT, Destiny, and Trevor all voted together. It's kind of crazy that I had to work with my enemy, right? But like we were frenemies for that round. Now we can go back to being enemies. Going into the final 6, I just need to make sure that JT does not win immunity, because I have an advantage, and I will be very much attempting to try to block his vote. Honestly, I don't see a path where I don't make it to the end and I don't win if I get rid of JT in the next tribal council. Genuinely, I feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm 100% going to win this game. Because I feel like I've played amazingly. I've had a little bit of an underdog moment or two. I might have been a little villainous. But ultimately, I played a good fucking game, okay?
What happened is that she was just trying to open people's eyes, and I think Mike was trying to do the same. But And then she was like accusing that JT was saying her name back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. JT was defending himself. Ryron was chipping in. And then Tiara and I and Destiny are just like eating our popcorn, you know, raising our eyebrows when we need to. But they like, Kylie literally like laid out my entire game plan. Like my game plan is to take Tiara and Destiny to the final 3. Like those were the people I can beat.
It's going to be messy when you get this close to the end, because this is the part of the game where people who have been working together the whole game now realize they have to kind of turn on each other, or, you know, people who are trying to save their game are desperate and they make desperate moves. It's always going to be messy. Kylie was particularly messy tonight, and I think she got a little emotional, and I don't know if she intended to trash her game, but I feel like that's what she just did. I'm not really sure where she can go from here. She lost Mike. She targeted JT, so I can't see them working together now. She threw Ryron under the bus. She dragged me, Trevor, and Destiny's name through the mud. So I'm not really sure what options she has left at this point.
Hello, Final 6. Are y'all ready for tonight's immunity challenge?
No.
All right, first things first, JT, I'll take it back. Oh, sorry, Kylie. Kylie, you had it last. I'll take that back. I apologize. Once again, immunity is back up for grabs. For today's challenge, I am going to read off a story to you all. On my go, I'm going to read off the story. You must have your hands in the air. You cannot look up the story on whatever it is. You may not keep notes. You may not look up on Google or anything. You must keep your hands up the entire time in frame while I'm telling you the story. Your goal is to memorize the story as much as you can. I will be reading off a multiple choice section of each part of the story. There will be 10 questions. Get a question right, you get yourself a point. Person with the highest amount of points wins immunity. Save from the vote, guaranteed a 1 in 5 shot at winning this game. If we end up having a tie, we will go to a tiebreaker. Does everybody understand?
Huh?
Okay, hands in the air. I will read you all the story. JT's on sale, so I know he's actually not checking anything. Okay, here we go.
Just confirm when you're done.
Yep. Okay. So the story I'm going to read off to you is the Ambudi or Bambuti mythology. The Ambudi-Bambuti mythology is the mythology of the African Ambudi, also known as Bamboo, images of Congo. The most important god of Bambui Python is Konavon. Also Konum, Konvon, and Churum. A god of the hunt who wields a bow made from 2 snakes that together appear to humans as a rainbow. After sunset, every day, Konavon gathers fragments of the stars and throws them into the sun to revitalize it for the next day. He occasionally contacts mortals through Gore, a thunder god who is also an elephant, or a chameleon, similar to the divine messenger used by Orishnala of Yoruba mythology. Konavon created mankind from clay. Black people were made from black clay, white people came from white clay, and the Pimagis themselves came from red clay. He also creates the animals that are needed by hunters. Arbati is a lunar deity and sky father. In some sources, he was said to have created humanity from clay instead of Konavon. Tor is a god of the forest who supplies animals to hunters. He is also a thunder god who appears as a storm and hides in rainbows. Most importantly, Tor appears as a leopard in the initiation rites. The first Pimagis stole fire from Tor. He chased them, but could not catch them. And when he returned home, his mother had died. As punishment, he decreed that humans will also die, and he thus became the death god. Nigo Gungumbar is a child-eating giant Orichi Bakawa is a dwarf who can change himself into a reptile. A Mbudi soul is called a Megbi. When a man dies, the son places his mouth over his father to draw in a part of the Megbi. Another part inhabits the man's totem animal. If the son does not inhale the Megbi, or the total animal is later killed, it may escape into the forest, where it becomes a semi-visible being called a Lodi. It lives forever with the others like it. That is the story. I need you to get your pens and papers out and write down A, B, C, and D. I will read off the questions. And your goal is to get them as much right as you can. Person with the most amount of points wins individual immunity. If there's a tie, we'll go to a tiebreaker. Which people were made from red clay? A, black people. B, white people. C, dwarfs. D, Himjis. Can I have your answers, please? Okay. Tiara, which one did you... Oh, one's D? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The correct answer is D, Himjis. Tiara, Kylie, and Destiny get a point. Next question. Which god created mankind from clay? A, Tor. B, Nilugungambar. C, Arabati. D, Gore. Which god created mankind from clay? Answers, please. C, B, D, A. Correct answer is C, Arabati. Destiny and JT get a point. Which pair of animals created the bow for the god of hunt? A, snakes. B, lizard. C, baby gators. D, owls. I'll read them up again. Which pair of animals created the bow for the god of hunt? A, snakes. B, lizards. C, baby gators. D, owls. Answers, please. JTB got B. Okay, everyone said A except for JT. The correct answer is A. Everybody gets a point except for JT. So far, Destiny's in the lead with 3.
Guys are happy about that.
Okay, next question. What did the Himjis stole from Tor? A, wood. B, fire. C, water. D, relics. I'll read it off again. What did the Himjis stole from Tor? A, wood. B, fire. C, water. D, relics. Answers, please. Okay, JT, do you have your answer? Everyone says B. You're all correct. It was fire. Everyone gets a point there. What is an Mbudi soul called? A, Megda. B, Megbi. C, Megha. Or D, Megsa. Answers, please. The correct answer is B, Megbi. Ryer and Tiara and JT get a point. Question. Oichi Bakawa is a dwarf who can change himself into what kind of animal? A, mammal. B, insect. C, reptile. D, fish. Answers, please. Everyone says C except for Destiny. This says fish. Correct answer is C, reptile. Everybody except Destiny gets a point. Next question. After every sunset, Konoboom gathers fragments of what and throws them into the sun? A, rocks. B, stars. C, totems. D, rainbows. I will repeat it again. After every sunset, Konoboom gathers fragments of what and throws them into the sun? A, rocks. B, stars. C, totems. D, rainbows? Answers, please. Okay, correct answer was B, stars. Destiny and Tiara get a point. Okay, so just to give a look at the scores right now, it appears we have, so Tiara's in the lead with 6, Destiny right behind with 4, JT, Kylie, and Ryron all tied, 3rd place with 4. It's not over yet. 3 questions remaining. When a man dies, where does the son place the totem animal on his father's body? A, chest. B, mouth. C, neck. D, a hand. I will repeat it again. When a man dies, where does the son place the totem animal on his father's body? A, chest. B, mouth. C, neck. D, a hand. Answers, please. A lot of y'all said B. The correct answer is B, mouth. So a lot of you, except for Kylie and Ryron, got it right. There are 2 questions remaining. So here is where we're at right now. There's 2 questions remaining. If Tiara gets this right, Tiara wins individual immunity. If Tiara gets this wrong, but if JT and Kylie and Ryron need to get both of these right to get tied, otherwise they're all out. Okay, so JT got it too. Never mind. So JT got the point too. Okay, so let me reiterate that. So right now Tiara's in the lead with 6. Destiny and JT right behind. Kylie and Ryron still at 4. Next question. Who does Kunabum occasionally speak to? A, Airbati. B, Tor. C, Orichi Batawa. D, Gore. I will repeat it again. Who does Kunabum occasionally speak to? A, Arabati. B, Tor. C, Orichi Batawa. Or D, answers, please. C. Correct answer was D, Gore. Only Kylie got it right. So here's what this means now with 1 question left. That means Ryron, Kylie, and JT are out of it now. If Tiara gets this wrong, we'll go to a tiebreaker. If Destiny gets this wrong and Tiara both get it wrong, Tiara wins immunity. Last question. This is only for Destiny and Tiara. The rest of you can just watch. What happens to the Megby if the sun does not inhale it? A, a sun dies. B, a totem animal dies. C, a rainbow appears. D, humans die. I will repeat it again. What happens to the Megby if the sun does not inhale it? A, a sun dies. B, a total animal dies. C, a rainbow appears. Or D, humans die. Answers, please. Okay. The correct answer was B, a total animal dies. Neither of you got it wrong, but Tiara got the highest points, which means Tiara wins individual immunity.
Congrats, Tiara.
Thank you.
Congrats, Tiara. Individual immunity is yours. Guarantee a spot in the top 5. As for the rest of you, after a very close finish, a very tight race going into the next tribal, somebody's going to get voted up tomorrow night. Grab your stuff, head on back. See you all tomorrow for tribal. Congrats.
I was hopeful about winning immunity. I didn't. You never know for sure, but I'm so excited. I did 2 things tonight that I really, really wanted to do. I won immunity, and to win it for this particular tribal, so I officially am top 5, which means I've officially tied where I was in my first org. And so, man, like, that's just really all I wanted to do. I wanted to make it as far as I did in my first org, and I literally did that tonight. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for like a long time now. JT has to go. He is a super flashy player, super vocal. He is someone, if he's sitting in the finals, people are going to vote for him. And that's not okay with me.
I mean, like, he sent that message in the chat about like, well, you still have your vote. And I was like, so I sent a message in our one-on-one and was like, what did you do? Like thinking that he went searching and found a disadvantage. And he was like, you know what it is. Like you knew that Ryron had that block of vote and, like don't even pretend. Hold on, let me see what he said. Ryron has a block of vote. I'm not supposed to know, but fuck it. I have nothing to lose. There's no way I win this game, so might as well go out with a bang. Laugh out loud. You don't have to leave me on red. I know you already knew. And I did not read any of those messages. Like he sent me like 10 in a row, and I had not read any of them. And he left the group.
You knew about Ryron's block vote, right?
Well, they told me last round, and we're like, I haven't told anybody. If it comes out, then I know that you said something. So I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, I was told I was told after tribal because Ryron wants to take me to the end. And so they were like, this is like our bond of trust, but like, I would rather see Ryron go first. So I told.
Yeah.
So I told Trevor that I had an advantage, but I didn't tell him the correct advantage.
Uh-huh.
I told him I could just block a vote.
Yeah, okay.
So, and that was just to see if he'd tell JT, because he's been telling me that he wants to vote with me and get rid of JT so that we can go to the end together.
He's lying.
Obviously.
He told me the same thing last week.
So
Unnecessary since the numbers were already there.
I was like, I'm just going to tell him that I have a block of vote and we'll see if JT starts whining. And here JT is whining.
Love it. Oh my god.
So I'm still fully down for me, you, and Tiara to vote together tonight.
Okay.
Or tomorrow night or whenever. Yeah, tomorrow night, I think. I'm still down for it to be us three.
Okay.
Whether or not you want me in your end plan, I think it mutually benefits us to get rid of one of the two.
All the shit that I said were big ass facts. Like,
No, you're right.
it was a smart move for you. It was an even smarter move for JT. It was a fucking terrible move for the other three. It made no sense.
So the thing is we need to know where the other side are voting tonight, or we lose.
Yeah.
You
so
understand
I
that?
I sent JT a message and I said, "What did you do?" And he said, "Ryron has a block of vote. I'm not supposed to know, but fuck it. I have nothing to lose." So obviously Trevor went back and told him.
Yeah.
I just had a talk with Ryron, and I really just wanted to stress to them that I'm for sure on board with voting JT. No worries. Like, you don't have to worry that I'm going to flip. I promised them final 2. I'm basically doing whatever I have to do to get through this vote. But the biggest thing is that I am straight up lying about having a full idol. And so they expect me to play it on them, possibly tonight. Can't do that because I don't have a full one. But whatever, I'll deal with that shit after I get through this vote. That's the most important thing. So, yeah, that sucks. I mean, like, he sent that message in the chat about like, well, you still have your vote. And I was like, so I sent a message in our one-on-one and was like, what did you do? Like thinking that he went searching and found a disadvantage. And he was like, you know what it is. Like you knew that Ryron had that block of vote and, like don't even pretend. Hold on, let me see what he said. Ryron has a block of vote. I'm not supposed to know, but fuck it. I have nothing to lose. There's no way I win this game, so might as well go out with a bang. Laugh out loud. You don't have to leave me on red. I know you already knew. And I did not read any of those messages. Like he sent me like 10 in a row, and I had not read any of them. And he left the group. So I'm like, I don't know if he's pissed because I didn't answer and he thinks I like left him on red. If it shows that I read the messages, he's wrong. I did not read them. I was busy and I opened him up and he was gone. And he left a PPD chat, so.
Yeah. Well, and I feel so terrible because, like, you knew about Ryron's block vote, right?
Well, they told me last round, and were like, I haven't told anybody. If it comes out, then I know that you said something. So I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, I was told I was told after tribal
Okay.
because Ryron wants to take me to the end. And so they were like, this is like our bond of trust, but like, I would rather see Ryron go first. So I told.
Yeah.
Ryron is going to play a block a vote on JT. I've known that. I told JT, and then JT, feeling on the bottom with nothing to lose, kind of goes a little crazy and just announces to the entire rest of the tribe that he cannot vote, which then tells Ryron that I told JT, which puts me in a little bit of hot water. But I think that information was going to come out regardless. I just gave JT a little bit of time to plan his next move, and it kind of like shows that I'm still trusting and loyal to him. So now the only thing is, who is going to go home tonight? Right now, it's looking like it's either going to be JT or Ryron, and JT's been trying super, super hard to stay in this game, and I give the man a lot of credit because he has done almost anything that you can think of, but I think at this point it might be best for JT to go, essentially because he's going to be playing from the bottom each and every time, and if he continues to drag me or kind of mess up the information I've given or the information given to me, then I don't know if I want to keep him around also. But here's a tricky thing. So as it stands, JT can't vote, and so which leaves Kylie, Ryron, and Tiara to team up against Destiny and I. They have the numbers to take JT out outright. I've got the choice to write JT's name down. I've got the choice to write Ryron's name down. Even though I'm pretty sure JT's going home, I'm going to write Ryron's name down because I still want JT to trust me, and I would believe that if JT wound up on the jury and I am in the final three, JT would be my he would be the one that would be fighting for me to win.
The scope of things, it's not really that bad. It's because like I was dealing with it fine, and then just like the depression of like having to face the music with the game kind of like escalated all that shit.
Yeah.
And it just,
Well, I mean, it is crazy that this game is, like it is draining. Like the other Sunday when we had the off day, I slept for like 5 hours, like 5 hours in the middle of the day because I was so
Right.
tired.
Right.
And, it's like wild that this game can really play with your emotions and like exhaust you and everything. So I am sorry. And then, I would have sent you a message, but you left all of our chats.
It wasn't just you. It wasn't just you. You were the first ones, but it wasn't just you. I left pretty much any chat that wasn't just me and Trevor, pretty much.
I had not read your messages, and you were like, "Don't leave me on red." I was like, "I didn't read them. I hadn't read them."
I was so mad. Everything was like annoying me because like I had sent them, and then I was like talking in Maine, and you were responding there, and I was like, I know this bitch is not talking in Maine.
I was not talking in the main. JT,
When I was talking about about having a dry inbox.
right, and then I sent you a message and said, "What did you do?" Because you were like, "At least you'll have a vote." And I sent you a message in our one-on-one chat and was like, "What did you do?" Like thinking that you went and searched the board and that you got a punishment. And that's when you sent me everything. And I hadn't responded to any of the messages after that, after I sent you that one. Anyways, slight miscommunication, no big deal.
Anyway, I just want to say, and I'm basically telling all 5 of y'all the same thing. All 4 of y'all, except for Robert. I told Robert something else. if I go, y'all will never have the votes to get Ryron. Because if I leave, you can guarantee Trevor's not voting with you next round.
Yeah.
Destiny's voting with me this round, even though I'm going. She already told me she's going to vote the way that I vote so that it's not unanimous.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't have her vote either. So you'll literally be sitting next to Ryron in the end. Because Ryron has a high chance of winning.
Yeah.
So Ryron needs to go. Ryron doesn't even have to go. It just can't be me because you'll never have, you don't have the votes without me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's two people that are tied to my vote. One, wishy-washy maybe because it's Destiny, she do what she needs to do to stay in the game. But for sure, if I go home, Trevor will not vote with whoever sent me home, period.
So I just had a conversation with JT and he laid out all of the points of why I should keep him. And, you know, basically pointed out all of the ways that Ryron is such a threat. And to be honest, JT, like, I 100% agree with the things that you said. Ryron is a threat. If Ryron gets to the end, I think Ryron will win, which is why I wanted you, JT, to go out last round so that we could deal with Ryron this round. JT, you have the mist that you can just sprinkle over people and they want to do what you say, but your mist does not work on me. I love you as a person, but you've got to go. In the words of yourself, you got to go.
We'll now bring in members of our jury. Kason, Antonio, Crimson, Bill, Logan, Mike, put it out at the last tribal council, also in attendance. Okay, so first order of business. Tiara, you won individual immunity in the storytime challenge. How does it feel knowing you're guaranteed at least top 5 in this game?
I feel amazing right now. I don't have anything to worry about tonight. It's nice.
Okay, so Trevor, I notice one of your tribe mates is notably absent tonight. Where's JT at?
That is the $1 million question. There was a little chaos that kind of broke out in one of the main chats yesterday, and so I don't know if that could be a reason. I don't know if real life has intervened. That's kind of the $1 million question at that point. So we'll see if there's any ramifications that come from this, but I don't know.
You said there was chaos ensued last night. What was the chaos? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, so I think that the consensus is Mr. JT kind of felt that people were going to gun for him at this tribal council. And so when you're at the bottom, you've got essentially nothing to lose. And so JT is loud and in charge. And so he decides to spout lots of different facts, trying to get anything that sticks, anything to get the target off of his back at that point. And so I don't know if anything has changed because of it, but we will see how it all shakes out tonight.
Okay. So, Destiny, last tribal council, Mike got voted off, and then all of a sudden, not even a few moments after, a huge fight happens. You weren't there for that, but were you able to get informed of what happened in that night?
Yeah, I heard about what happened, and honestly, the one time I can't fucking be there, y'all want to talk crazy, annoying, like that one time. But yeah, don't know how to act.
So Kylie, right after last tribal council, you said the words, Mike spoke no lies. JT will win. JT's not here. A free open shot? Misdirect? What do you think?
Mike spoke no lies.
Okay, well said. So, Ryron, with 6 slowly becoming down to 5, and this is the last round for any kind of idols, advantages, disadvantages to go into play this round. So, does that impact the end goal for you?
No, because I'm still going to be sitting in the final 5.
You're still going to be sitting in the final 5. So, so what does that mean? Do you think you're going to be out at 5? Is that what you're implying?
No, I'll just be there next tribal, and then we'll see what happens from there. But I'm pretty confident that this tribal is a gimme.
Okay. I'm good with questions on my end. If anybody has any final words, maybe call somebody out, or play a power in this game. Otherwise, we'll get right into it with the vote. Okay. One at a time, I'll put you each into the breakout room where you cast your vote on who you want to send to the jury. It is time to vote. Ryron, you're up.
JT, you will win this game if you're at the end.
I'm going to tally the votes. If anybody has a hidden immunity and they would like to play it, now is the last time to do so.
I'll play mine.
Post it in the main chat, please. The rules of Survivor state that if somebody plays a hidden immunity idol, any votes cast against that person will not count. The person with the next highest number of votes will be voted out. This is indeed the solar half idol. However, there is no other half to the idol in Kylie's possession, therefore it does nothing, which means any votes cast towards Kylie will still count. An animal has been summoned tonight. That is all I am going to say. I will now read the votes. First vote. JT. One vote JT. Blocked. Still one vote JT. JT. That's 2 votes JT. 13th person voted as Survivor Pandemic Survivor Silvercrest and the 6th member of our jury. JT. JT, that's 3. Good night, that's enough. You have 30 seconds.
It's been real. This is the smartest thing you guys ever done because I was gonna wipe the floor with all of you in the final trial.
Love you, JT.
Love you, JT.
Love you too.
JT.
Love you too.
Stop spoken.
Thanks.
Time for you to go. So, seeing with a simple vote off like this, we're now getting down to the nitty gritty. Final 5, next challenge begins tomorrow. Grab your stuff and I'm back. See you all tomorrow.
So they finally fucking got me. Best decision they ever fucking made because I literally was gonna wipe the floor with the final tribal council. I would love to see Trevor, Kylie, and Destiny in a final 3.
The last tribal council, my ride or die, my best pal, Mr. JT, gets taken out in a 5-0 vote. I voted Ryron, but my vote was blocked, and I knew it was kind of coming because I had told Ryron earlier in the day that, Ryron, I'm sorry, but I have to vote against you, and I knew that Ryron had the block a vote. JT didn't show up to tribal council, and so I was like, well, my vote's about to get blocked, so why not just give Ryron the satisfaction that they used it correctly. So I knew JT was gonna go, and I really didn't fight for him to stay because like him going out when he did is kind of like perfect for me, because one, it will show that I can still stay in this game without JT. 2, that I can get to the end and still have like a solid chance to win this game.
Welcome, Final Five. Are y'all ready for tonight's mini challenge?
No.
First things first, Tiara, I'll take this back.
Boom.
Once again, immunity is back up for grabs. For tonight's challenge, I hope y'all got your buff and your pencil, because the way this challenge is going to work is that you're going to put the blindfold over top of your face and have your pencil right above your head. On my go, you're going to have the blindfold put in down, and your pencil going to be holding up. You're going to keep the pencil up for as long as you can to get your time closest to 5 minutes. The first person to have their time closest to 5 minutes without going over wins immunity, guaranteed a 1 in 4 shot at winning this game. Losers, Tribal Council, where one of y'all will have a 25% chance of going to the jury. 2, 1, start. Challenge is on. You want to keep the time closer to 5 minutes without going over. This is a comp you really want to pay attention to. You never know that 1 second of a difference will be the difference of you winning immunity and for you going to the jury. Okay. I will go through the times. So let's start off with Ryder. You dropped at a time of 6 minutes and 30.15 seconds. You're a minute 30 over your time. Tiara, oh sorry, Destiny, your time dropped at 5 minutes and 23 seconds, 23.02 seconds over the mark. Tiara, you dropped at a time of 5 minutes, 16.4 seconds. So you're 16.4 seconds over the 5 minute mark. That comes down to Kylie and Trevor. One dropped really early at 3 minutes and 47 seconds. The other person dropped at 4 minutes and 50.23 seconds. Person that wins individual immunity is Trevor. Congratulations.
Congrats, Trevor.
Good job, Trevor.
I only want
You're guaranteed a 1 in 5 shot of winning this game.
I will take it.
For the rest of you. After a very, very tight race, someone is going to be sent to the jury tomorrow night. Grab your stuff, head on back. See y'all tomorrow for travel. Congrats.
It's tomorrow. I have finally proven that I am not pathetic in any of these individual challenges. Oh, it makes me so happy because I have finally won individual immunity, and at the most important time too, because this is kind of where people start to separate in terms of their game. Either you go home or you make it another day. I'm in the final 4. I can't stop smiling. This is the best thing that could have happened at the best possible time. I am 1 immunity away from reaching the goal of sitting in the final 3 and having to tell people the game that I've been playing. Oh, it makes me so happy. And this challenge was fit for me. I'm a teacher, and so I know how to count. And I know how long a second feels, and so I was able to count. The music in the background was throwing me off just a little bit, but I had my rhythm. I was nodding my head for each second. I was able to control each second along the way. And I did end a few seconds short. If I would have counted all the way to 5 minutes, I didn't want to go over. So if I would have counted 5 minutes, I probably would have been a second or so off. So this is amazing.
I don't even know what's going to happen anymore, to be honest with you, because everything that I've heard, everyone's saying conflicting things to everybody.
Oh,
so
really?
It's oh yeah. So it's I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, as always, it's the whole theme.
Yeah, okay, but the last 2 tribals were pretty easy.
Yeah, those were pretty mellow. Those
Yeah.
were the mellow, except for the little spat at the end of the mic one. But
Sure.
the one that we just had was the most mellow one I think we've ever had.
Yeah.
Answer some questions, take a vote. See ya.
To be fair, in my head, it makes sense that if I go home, you go home next.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. Because I would think that Kylie would want to take the girls to the end, right?
Mhm.
If I was her. So I'm assuming would Kylie then go after you? Is that would be her plan?
I don't know. Thinking about it, she has a lot of options.
Yeah.
She might be in the best spot.
Yeah. Or no.
Hopefully, yeah, I think so. I mean, me and Tiara have been working really closely.
Yeah.
It's we kind of were forced to.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, did you talk to Ryron?
I did.
And who'd they pitch me?
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do? Because there's no reason to even blindside anybody, because it's there's no idols, there's no advantages.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're gonna vote me, I would just rather know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I honestly have not made up my mind because, like, Ryron's like this. Ryron is, I think, the biggest threat still in the game.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, and so there's that, but at the same time, they're like, are they good in challenges? Is that somebody I could beat challenge-wise, like in the final four? But then it's like, and then Ryron was like, hey, if we're in the final four and I win immunity, like, and if it's fire making, I promise to take you to the end. Like, you don't even have to compete in fire making. And then it's like, is that true? Is that not true? And so, like, they're like, honestly, like, Ryron's giving me like literally the entire world to vote with them.
Okay, well, like, here's my counter to everything they said is Ryron and Tiara are the last remaining duo in the game.
Yeah.
Like, and Tiara is 100% locked in with Ryron.
Yes.
Like, if one of them does not go and you don't win immunity next time, you have to vote with them. Basically, you have no option.
Mm-hmm.
I think, genuinely, that if you don't win the next challenge and I go home tonight, you go home. Whereas if I stay, we can work together.
Yeah.
I do think that if you would have gone this week, or if you would have gone this cycle, I would have gone home next too. So I was never going to target you this round.
Yeah.
I want you to know that.
Yeah. So then who would you want? Doesn't matter?
Nope.
Okay.
What do you have, like, I know Destiny said Kylie. So
Yeah.
that felt like an easy one for me because Tiara said she just doesn't want me to go.
Yeah. I mean,
So
like,
I think
I would feel like Kylie is probably more threatening than the others, but like at the same time, is she?
okay, but here's something we have to consider. If Kylie is seen as more threatening, when Kylie's gone, we are now the most threatening.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna go after us, and it's gonna end up with a tie vote unless one of us betrays each other.
Yeah.
So it's like a lose-lose, right? We fight it, but maybe if we save Kylie, then Kylie will want to vote with us and make sure 3 power players keep making it through.
Yeah.
That's a potential, though. I don't know. These are scenarios. You're free to run whatever ideas you have.
Yeah.
I still have options. So immediately after, I made a pinky promise with Kylie that, spoiler alert, I don't actually intend on keeping. Even though I said I never break my pinky promises, this is the exception. Like, this game is the exception for the pinky promise thing, which means I'm never going to be able to use it again. Regardless, I don't really fully intend on keeping it. If Kylie will, if I feel 100% like perfect about Kylie voting with me this time, sure, maybe I will keep it. But I'm exploring other options. I already talked to Trevor a little bit, and I was basically like, hey, let's think about a scenario where if I go home tonight, where does that leave you? Are you next? Maybe you're next. And hopefully he like catches that and it's like, oh my god, I am next. And then I'm fine, I keep thriving, and then I take him out next because I gotta take him out eventually.
Sit there with Ryron. So, Ryron, I really need them to go tonight because I can't sit there with them. The other 3, I think that I can beat any combination of them, but obviously I worry when Ryron is out of the game, then I'm the biggest threat. So, my idea is to really push that, hey, the jury's not going to vote for me, so I'm the perfect person to take. Like, you don't want to keep Tiara in the game because Tiara's got all of her friends on the jury. We can't keep Ryron in the game. They have all their friends in the jury. So, Trevor, Destiny, we have to go together.
The only thing that could go wrong if she teams up with Ryron right now, that ensures that either Ryron or Kylie make it to the end. It doesn't matter which one, at least one of them makes it to the end if they team up right now. But if they don't team up right now, there's also a chance that neither of them make it to the end. And I don't know if they realize that. And so I don't want them to team up as much as possible. So I've been telling Kylie that Ryron has been gunning for you. They were gunning for you last round when you won immunity. They're gunning for you now. Like, Ryron will come after you. You need to go after Ryron. I'm probably going to say the same thing to Ryron. Like, Kylie came to me with a plan to vote you out. So I want to make sure that they continue to butt heads. And if they do, perfect scenario. I'm sitting at the final 4 with the 3 people that I want to go to the end with. Me included, Destiny and Tiara. I've been saying this since like the final 7 or 8. And now that it's working, it's like, I'm doing something right.
Logan, Mike, JT voted out of the last tribal council. The only jury members that are here tonight are Bill and Mike. Everyone else is MIA. So, let's go through first order of business. Trevor, you won individual immunity in the blindfold competition. How's it feel knowing you're guaranteed top 4 in this game?
I mean, that seems so crazy and like so surreal at the exact same time that like I am getting no votes tonight, which is a blessing. And so that way I'm already in the final 4, which is so great to be that far in this game. I'm not taking it anything for granted at this point. It's still going to be a work in progress as we continue through this game, but I'm just glad I have immunity for tonight.
Okay, so Kylie, this is the first round in this game where no idols, no advantages, nothing of the sorts can be played at this stage of the game because they're all expired. So like, what can you do to make sure the vote is not on you tonight?
I mean, really all you can do is have conversations, put your trust in the people that you've given your word to, and hope that it's being reciprocated. And that's about all you can do at this point, you know, like lay out where other people are threats and hopefully minimize yours.
So Ryron, Kylie pointed out to make sure to target for the threats, but make sure that they are not on yourself. How do you make sure that you're not considered a threat and make someone else a threat so they can get targeted?
I mean, it really comes down to like thinking about the dynamics and thinking about the remaining people in the game. Because like a threat can't do much on their own; they need other people. Okay. You gotta look at the big picture.
Okay. So Tiara, the jury is nearly complete. What can you do to make sure that when you're voting off the last few remaining people off, they do not get mad at you when you vote them out of this game this round?
I think it just comes down to just basic human decency. I think as long as you're treating everyone with respect, and of course it's always going to be hard at this point because we've all made it so far, but I think really that's all you can do. As long as you're respectful and you're not outright disrespecting anyone, I think that's maybe the best shot you have.
Okay. Lastly, Destiny. So how devastated would you be, since we're near the end of the game, if your torch got snuffed tonight?
It would suck pretty bad. I don't think it would like be fucking life ruining. You know what I mean? You win some, you lose some. But yeah, I mean, tonight you'd be stupid not to expect to go home. You know, everybody should expect that it's them. It's just, you know. So I guess devastation factor would be a good medium. It wouldn't be like, high.
Okay. By a show of hands, raise your hand if you think it's you tonight. Except for Trevor, because Trevor's immune. Okay, so the unpredictability.
One of us is right.
And one of y'all is right. So we're gonna have to wait and see in a little bit. So I'll pass the floor to everybody else if you want to call somebody off or have any final words. Otherwise, we'll get right into the vote.
I want to
Okay.
call out looking like he's in a Clue game. That's it.
Colonel Mustard.
I
Okay.
I cannot unsee that.
Oh my
And
lord.
with that, one at a time, I'll put you into the breakout room where you cast your vote on who you want to be the 14th person voted out of this game and the 7th member of our jury. It is time to vote. Ryron, you're up first.
Oh, so this is like actually probably the hardest vote so far because I don't want to do this. I just think it's what's gonna get me farther and probably to the win. So I've chosen Kylie.
Ryron, it's you or me. I choose you.
I'll go tally the votes.
Anyone else sweating like a whore in church?
Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted off after the tribal council area immediately. All right, the votes. First vote. Ryron. That's one vote, Ryron. Kylie. One vote, Ryron. One vote, Kylie. Kylie. That's two votes, Kylie. One vote, Ryron. Ryron. We're tied. Two votes, Kylie. Two votes, Ryron. One vote left. 14th person voted out of Survivor Pandemic Safari Silvercrest. And the 7th member of our jury. Ryron. Ryron, that's 3 tonight. That's enough. You have 30 seconds to say your goodbyes and end your torch.
Good luck, guys. No, you made the right choice.
Good game, Ryron.
My
Right.
points were very good, Trevor.
We were very good.
Right. The tribe spoken. Time for you to go.
Hate you all.
Congratulations, Final Four. Your next competition slowly awaits. Got the torches head back to camp. Good night.
I think I'm actually a little blindsided. I thought that the points that I made were really, really good, and I might have convinced myself that Trevor was going to vote with me. Clearly, that was a mistake. But you know what? It is a game, and honestly, I probably could have managed my threat level a little bit better.
We're gonna have to do a little bit of work here. So we just had tribal, and Ryron was voted out, and I completely get it. I do get it. It's not necessarily the choice that I was hoping would be made tonight, but I do get it, and I think overall, the only thing that worries me now at this point in the game in Final Four is trying to figure out my relationships with Destiny and Trevor. I don't know whether there's an opportunity for me and Kylie to come together. If there is, I'll certainly take advantage of it. But I think I need Destiny and Trevor to understand, okay, you guys got out Ryron tonight, but next time, can we please agree that Kylie is our target and we need to get her out?
The last tribal council, the final 5, it came to a 3-2 vote between me and Ryron. Luckily, I'm still here. Ryron was sent packing. So that pinky promise we made each other, I said it was bullshit because pinky promises don't mean anything to me. obviously, Ryron, pinky promises don't mean anything to you either. So, yeah, I'm so glad that, really, I think it came down to Trevor, and I had a long talk with him, explained to him, like, why Ryron needed to go, and I think that the points that I made were obviously good enough. So we've had a few days off from the game, and I got some really great advice about, making sure that I stayed focused on the game, even though we weren't actively playing it. So I've spent the last few days watching the past seasons of Pandemic, and so today, now that we're officially back, I've been just reaching out to everyone again, making sure that I'm staying in touch with these people. But then also I just had a long conversation with Trevor, and I'm like, hey, Trevor, this bullshit that they've dropped into the chat about we're going to have some shenanigans tomorrow. Well, I think that there's something up, and I think that the game's not going to be a Final 3. I think it's going to be a Final 2. Like, I've watched the past seasons, and they all were a Final 2, which I'm lying a little bit because I didn't watch Season 1 and Season 2. I only watched all of Season 3 and part of Season 4, so I don't know what happened in the first 2 seasons, but in Season 3 is a Final 2. So I just want Trevor to think this one's for sure going to be a Final 2 also. And hey, Trevor, you cannot make it to the end if I'm not there. If it's a Final 2 and you vote me out, you're getting voted out next.
Okay, welcome Final 4. Are y'all ready for tonight's immunity challenge? I'm the enthusiasm at Final 4. Trevor, I'll take back immunity. Once again, immunity is back up for grabs. For tonight's challenge, each of you are required to have 4 balloons. On my go, you're going to be standing up into a simple position with, for starters, 1 balloon in 1 hand. Keep in mind, you cannot use your other hand to balance the balloon. So on my go, you're going to be tossing the balloon in the air as best of your ability. If your balloon drops on the ground or goes out of frame, you're out of the challenge. After each interval, we're going to be adding more balloons, making it more difficult. We will go up to 4 balloons. Once we reach up to 4 balloons, we keep going until the challenge is over. So this challenge can go really quickly, depending how fast you are at getting your balloons out. Final 4 immunity. We're gonna go for this for 5 minutes. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Bounce the balloon in the air. As you all know, you notice a bunch of unknowns are in the Zoom chat tonight. They have some words for you fellow Survivor players. Would these unknowns please speak their mind?
Hey, besties.
Hey, everybody!
Guys, finally don't
Miss
knock that
us?
balloon away and stop our lions.
I feel so bad for Trevor. He probably wishes JT was there to do the balloon thing for him.
Oh!
Hey, Ryron.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Ryron, I got a question.
Yeah, let's pop in.
What's the difference between Kylie, a retirement home full of geriatric constipated seniors?
You're in one of them?
One's more.
No, they're both full. They're both full of shit.
Kylie, you're glowing. Is it from all the backs you stabbed?
Ooh.
Throwing shots.
Hey,
That's
Tiara,
right.
Tiara, you can just jump out of the challenge. You're gonna get dragged to the final 3 anyway.
No, I was gonna say that about Destiny. You might as well drop out right now.
Destiny?
No, you got final 2. You got final 2.
Destiny who? Destiny who?
I mean,
Is there Destiny in this game?
she's the silent killer, right?
same from the losers.
I don't know if suicide is killing. Hey, Josh! Josh!
Yes.
Hey, Josh! I heard you had to. I heard that Trevor's phone calls were so boring that you had to force the mods to decide who was going to listen to them on a wheel.
On a wheel.
On a wheel.
Trevor, Tiara, and Destiny, they all seem to think Kylie should win, so just vote her in. 3 of them will vote for her no matter what happens, so don't take her anywhere close to the finals, even if she doesn't deserve it. Even if you try and goad her, it won't happen.
And Tiara also is friends with everybody on the jury except me, so take that into consideration as well.
I haven't talked to Tiara.
I
I
don't
don't
mean
talk to
anything.
Tiara, so I don't know about friends with everybody in the jury.
Oh, sorry.
I
Sorry.
mean, as much as I didn't reach out to her, she didn't come to me either. So.
Oh, and God forbid Destiny goes home. That's another one for the person who agrees with every single thing everybody says.
No, she doesn't. She voted
Destiny
against
who?
Destiny, Tiara, and Trevor have all played a better game, and they've all played way under the radar versus all of us.
Destiny played a better game than who?
I would say.
All of us.
I'm sorry, but even when I was in the game, all I heard was Destiny has not done shit.
She made better choices than half of us did, and with less time to actually devote to it.
That's what she is now.
Is that from following everybody's word or making her own decisions?
Destiny, I don't have an
You know
idol.
what, Trevor? Everybody's throwing hate towards you. Love you, buddy.
It's not hate.
I actually, you know what? I hope the best for Trevor. You know, I had a premonition before I left. I went to go next, and you know what? We'll see if it happens. I'm praying for you, buddy.
I hope the best for Trevor and JT too. I just hope, I just always hope for the best for them too.
Why you kissing
Are they
ass
going to have? Are they going to have a registry?
Oh no, I'm not kissing ass. I'm just saying you can't say Trevor without JT. You can't do anything without it.
There it is.
But I'm pretty sure Trevor cut him, and then he also cut Ryron, so I'm pretty sure Trevor's making a better choice than all of us combined.
Mm-hmm.
My right-hand man died before I did. Trevor died before JT.
JT's right-hand man is still in her.
Yeah.
Brains are piled up the way they should be, you know?
Here he is. Sometimes you just gotta give him up in it.
Logan, I thought everyone was your right-hand man.
Ooh,
Or at least you seem to have told them all at some point.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, no, I played horribly dirty. But
You could have just ended it at 4.
one person I didn't mind.
Okay.
Well, no, two people,
You all
not
can
three.
Stop your
three people
balloons. You all can stop your balloons. We're now going to add a second balloon, one in each hand.
Should be fun.
This could be interesting.
Now Trevor
So we
really
have to
wishes
like hit
JT
the
was
yellow
here.
balloon with one hand and the red balloon with the other, or can we just use both hands to hit both balloons?
So keep in mind, you have 2 hands, and you must try to keep both balloons in the air. If either of them drop, you're out.
So you can hit both balloons with
So you
either
can
hand.
use either hands to switch. Yes, you can, but you have to keep them both in the air.
Okay.
5 minutes starts now.
Ooh, stay in the frame.
Trevor hanging in there. Oh, Tiara drops. We're down to Kylie and Trevor just like that.
No, but I was out of frame, so I was
Look at Kylie bouncing those
you're out of
balloons
frame,
just like her bad
Yeah,
decision.
I was out there.
Trevor, watch your fridge. Watch your fridge. Watch your fridge. Watch your fridge. Ooh, watch
Oh,
it.
Kylie barely. Oh, Kylie's struggling.
Come on, Kylie.
Ooh,
the
let's
only
go,
chance you have.
Trevor,
No,
Trevor, no! Trevor is out. Kylie wins individual immunity. Mary, take
Nice
us-
job, Kylie.
Thank y'all.
Good job, Kylie.
Kylie,
Thank you.
individual immunity.
Hot air, I'm not surprised.
Thank y'all.
Now you just gotta work on winning some votes.
That one was for you, Logan.
You're welcome. Oh no, I'm good. Glad for you. Good job. Win your way to the end.
Okay,
You've got 3
hold on,
votes.
jury, because now we are
That's
switching.
the only way you get there.
No, not tribal.
Wait, what?
We're going to tribal.
Oh shit.
Well, welcome to Tribal Council, where the 4 of you are going to be voting somebody off in the next 5 minutes. Here's how this is going to work. This is a text-free round. I will open up 2 breakout rooms. The limit is 2 people each. They're allowed to have a signed combo with whoever you wish, but once someone enters a new breakout room, they must leave. You're allowed to converse and discuss on who you want to be the next member of the jury, and they will not be part of the final
What did Destiny tell you?
I haven't talked to her.
Oh, was she not in the room with you?
No, it was just me until you showed up. I was getting a little nervous.
I mean, like, Destiny, right? Let me know what Kylie says, because, like, I have a feeling that she's going to want to put votes on me. Just see what she says. I'm sure, like, I don't know. This is the. All right.
I'm trying to find.
I'll leave.
All right. So one of us has to leave, right?
I'll leave.
You'll leave. Okay.
What do you want to do?
Damn it. I don't know. This is hard. I feel like they're both equal. She doesn't want to vote out Destiny.
And it's me.
Yeah. Either me or you.
Yeah.
Have you talked to her one-on-one?
Destiny or Kylie?
Kylie.
No. I haven't got a chance to. And, like, Destiny's, like, frozen. Like, I can't find a breakout room with her to see what she's doing either. It says, like, not joined. So I'm assuming that you're going to vote against me. I may vote against you. So, like, should we vote Destiny? Because, like, she's taking up a spot in the end for all of us.
Right.
Like,
because, like, I like, right now my only plays are Destiny and Tiara, which is not like I don't know, because, like, nobody's saying decisions and everything.
I'm not gonna vote Destiny out. Like,
I don't think anybody's voting Destiny out. Like,
yeah,
we all want her for the end. So, like, she's safe. So it's going to be either me or Tiara.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just told Tiara that, and I was like, hey, like, I'm probably going to vote against you, and you're probably going to vote against me. And she's like, oh, yeah, I don't know.
okay, so, like Trevor, like, even right then, like, I tried to get her to, like, fucking say your name or Destiny's, anybody's. Like,
Yeah.
you're not saying mine.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't even fucking say it. There's only 2 options. Fucking name. If I keep you tonight, will you keep me tomorrow?
I mean, I don't think I have any options.
Okay. Well, Trevor, unexpected final 4 breakout rooms. You had one person to be safe, and you had to go in and strategize real quickly to make sure the vote's not on you. What was the tension like?
I mean, it was kind of like you're trying you want to, like, catch people, like, trying to get your name. So you're, like, leaving breakout rooms. You're trying to, like, get people to, like, say your name when you hop into one. And so it's kind of like, I think it's kind of hilarious because, like, all of a sudden people get quiet if they're talking about you when you pop in. So I think it's kind of comical, but at the same time, like, my life is on the line. And so, like, at that point it's stressful because there are only 3 options. So it's stressful, but at the same time I thought it was kind of funny.
3 options, including yourself. So technically, Tiara, you can't vote for yourself. You have 2 other options in case Destiny or Trevor, because Kylie won immunity. So what do you make sure? So how do you make sure that the vote is not on you, but onto the other two possibilities?
I think the only thing you can do at this point is just try and plead your case, as to why you should stay in the game, and point out the other players' flaws as far as why maybe they should be eliminated tonight.
Okay. So Kylie, you want individual immunity, guaranteed a spot at the final 3, where the jury will come back tomorrow, where they will get to envision the final 3. So how does that feel, knowing you're in a much better spot prior to winning immunity?
Well, it feels great because I obviously feel like my ass was on the line tonight, and if I didn't win, I would have probably been voted out. So it feels great from that aspect. But then, there's that pressure of like, who do you vote out here? Because there's different things to weigh. Like, okay, if we have another immunity challenge tomorrow and we're going to a final 2, then like, do I want to keep someone that's better at challenges, or do I want to keep someone that may have better odds of beating them at the end? Like, 2 things to weigh.
So Destiny, there's 2 days left in the game. There's a final 4. We're still near the end. The game is near the end in sight. So the question being, is it a final 3 or is it a final 2? Which one do you think it is, and can you get there? You're on mute.
Okay. I have no fucking idea. I don't know if Survivor does final 2. And if it is, I would obviously like to be there, but at the same time, fuck it, we ball. Whatever happens, happens.
Okay. I'm good with questions on my end. If anybody has any final words, call somebody off. Otherwise, we'll get right into it with the vote. Okay. One at a time, I'll put you each into the breakout room where you'll cast your vote on who you want to be the next member of the jury, and we'll be down to our final 3. It is time to vote. Destiny, you're up first.
I am voting for Trevor. I hate having to do this, but I think if Trevor's on the jury, he might vote for me. So
tonight my vote is for Tiara, and Tiara, I think it's going to be either you or me tonight, and better you than me.
Decided yet.
I'll go tally the votes. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted off after the tribal council are immediate. Alright, votes. First vote. Tiara. It's 1 vote Tiara. Trevor. 1 vote Tiara, 1 vote Trevor. Trevor. It's 2 votes Trevor, 1 vote Tiara, 1 vote left. Tiara. We have a tie. So, normally in the case of Survivor for a tie, we would go to a revote. But I would ask publicly, Kylie and Destiny, are you standing firm with your votes, or should we go to a revote? Because if you're standing firm on your votes, we're gonna go to a fire making.
Can we talk, me and Destiny?
You may.
Can we have a breakout room?
I will put you in the voting booth breakout room, yes. So, Kylie and Destiny, you had your time to discuss. Are you sticking with your votes, or should we go to a revote?
We can revote.
Okay. Kylie and Destiny, one at a time, I'll bring you each into the breakout room. One of you will send either Tiara or Trevor to the jury. Destiny, will you come grab the urn? I'll go read the votes. First vote. Trevor. 1
Go, Trevor. 15th person voted as Survivor Pandemic Safari Silvercrest and the 8th member of our jury. Trevor. Trevor, Trevor, that's you tonight. That's enough. You have 30 seconds to say goodbye. Sam, your torch.
Well, that one hurt. I guess I'll see you guys later. Nothing else to say.
Travis spoken. Time for you to go. Congrats, final 3. Tomorrow we'll face the jury where they will witness the final outcome of this game. Grab your torches, head back to camp. Good night.
So this is not the ending that I was looking for. I saw the light in the tunnel miles away. Like at the final 8, I started to write my final tribal council speech at the final 8, and sitting here stings so much because I was so close, and I knew that I had a really good shot. I knew I did. I just had to articulate, and it hurts.
Hello, Kylie and Tierra. 2 of our 3 in our final 3. Destiny was not able to make it because of work. And you might have been expecting to see Josh here, weren't you?
Yeah,
Well,
a little bit.
tonight, you're not going to see Josh. Tonight, there's going to be 2 special visitors here for you. These 2 visitors, they played in the last season of Pandemic. These 2 visitors were sitting in the final 3, just where you were not too long ago.
Nice.
So, hello everybody. Just in case you don't know, I don't know, Tierra, if you watch the season. I know Kylie does.
I have. I actually just watched the latest episode yesterday.
So
I took my hair out, so my hair's a little shorter right now. It'll be longer tomorrow.
So Sarah and I were the final 2.
We're part of the nerd herd.
As part of the nerd herd, or also called the old worn shoes. Sarah's got to run for an appointment in just a bit. Either way, doesn't really matter. We're here for you. Sarah, since you got to run soon, do you want to start off maybe giving some tips and tricks off the top of your head and answering some of Kylie and Tierra's questions?
Yeah, so like as you guys are going to see as the season is going to play out, me and Sheldon played very similar games, but also very like different games. You'll see, I know from the very beginning, I kind of had, I call it a haters club in the game from the get-go. I feel like even watching the episodes, my name is talked about on like a daily basis. I've got people, my name's being written down at Tribal all the time. Sheldon played a very like strong social game, but the best advice I can give you, I guess, is just owning your game, owning how you play, and playing the best way that's true to yourself to the very, very end, so that it's not like the people who are playing with you feel like you're mischievous or you've changed at the very end, that sort of thing. They're not what they're used to. And so the best advice I think I can give you is, I'm sure you guys I love seeing like an all girls ending at the end of the day. I am all like girl power, which is so exciting. So be like very cognizant of the game that you played, how hard it's been for you, how easy it's been for you, the moves that you made, the moves that maybe you made together as well too, and just what it took to kind of get you to where you are, because I'm sure you guys have played a crazy wild game to get you there. I can't wait to see your guys' episodes though. However, I did win my haters club over in the end, and that's my secret to success, I think.
How did you win your haters club over?
Oh, well, they stayed in the game, obviously, and then there's only like 6 people left, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to talk to them now. So you'll see as the episodes go on. I had a very hard game from the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm really, really shocked to see you here.
Really? Yes.
Yeah, not because of like your gameplay, but because you're right in that like y'all are talked about,
especially like you, Sheldon, and Tad, up to that point when Tad got voted out, like y'all were the center of the conversation.
How was tribal council for you guys? Like the final one?
That's a really good question. So I feel like I stayed very true to what I played and how I played. I almost took some time to replay like friendships I made, why I did. Of course, when you get down to the final 8, final 6, people are gonna feel backstabbed, betrayed. They thought they were playing with you. And really it's time to kind of expose why you made the moves that you did, why it benefited you to get you to where you are. And one of the biggest things that I think I did was I owned the game that I played. Whereas my counterpart on his tribal, he tried to play this like villainous conversation that rubbed a few people the wrong way, if I can speak so freely upon that. So it's very important to like watch your words at the end, because I do think that Sheldon would have, possibly he still could have beaten me if he would have owned those conversations in that final tribal and not pretended to be like villainous, because his speech at the end was very like villainous. Not as bad as someone's questions to me, however, though, but you'll get to see. Can't wait.
Yeah, so like that's one thing that I worry about is like Tiara and I, we played really different games. Like
yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean I do worry about like a jury questions. Like I think I'm gonna get hit really, really hard.
Yeah, I got called a cow in one of the jury questions, if it makes you feel any better. Like you were a cow and blah, blah, blah. Like somebody went off on me. At the end of the day, it's also like, no, don't allow people to let you get worked up. Like they're obviously going to be jealous that you're in the place that you're in. They're going to be sad that they didn't get to like outsmart you at the end of the day. So if you just try to like, I don't know, put yourself in their shoes of how they're feeling and try to relate and be reasonable and personable to them, that's probably like the best advice to try to make them feel, I guess, appreciated but understood in the question that they're asking you. You know, they're not obviously trying to call you a cow and say all these like mean things, but they're upset because you cut them at, you know, X, Y, or Z place kind of thing. So it's good to kind of explain, you know, why things had to be the way they are. And yeah, and it's not bad if you know, toot somebody's horn at the end of the day. Like you would have beat me in the end if you would have been here, and that was the reason I couldn't take you kind of thing. Right. Because, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, tell people that, because it's all about being honest to everyone's truths in the game. And, you know, that's a really good truth if someone could have beaten you or would have beaten you, because even if they have more people sitting in jury. Yeah.
Sarah, I just want to do a time check. How much time do you have left?
I think I'm still good. I told her to give me like a few minutes notice when she was going to get here, so we're good.
So let us know, okay? I don't
want
to
no worries.
rush or take you away.
Yeah.
Kylie, any other questions?
There's like so many things running through my head. Like what went into like your speeches? Like what all did you think about when you're like at that point where you have to come up with your speech?
Yeah. I know that people were mad at me for not being friends with them, because they would hear about the friendships I had built with other people, and it was almost like, why didn't she want to be friends with me? So my biggest thing was explaining why I didn't be friends with the people I did. And that was kind of the whole part of my conversations. People want to understand the game you played. So whether you weren't social with them, whether you didn't talk to them, whether you cut them, whatever your niche was in your game, it's really about explaining that in the end, because not everybody knows your game. People that were really close to you would know how it is, but it's really to make everybody understand why you made the choices that you made throughout the game. And it's really your time to enlighten everybody on what exactly deserves for you to win as well too. How did you outsmart and outplay and outwit everybody in the game to be where you are, and own it at the end of the day. Even if you made the worst decision on the face of the planet, or you regret things, say it, why you regret them. Because people do want to see you being all genuine and, you know, honest and upfront and everything like that as well too.
We are now welcoming the wonderful Destiny Phillips, the other three here.
Welcome.
Just to get you quickly caught up, myself and Sarah, spoiler notice, we were the finalists of the last season of Pandemic, and we are here to answer your questions as you prepare for Final Tribal Council.
Okay.
She's
Hi,
like,
Sarah.
I don't care.
I'm sweaty as hell. I'm like literally just sitting on the toilet, like not even using the bathroom. So
Oh my, oh my.
Do you guys have any other questions for Sarah?
Sarah, where did these bitches get the nerve? That's what's on them now.
So I'm trying to answer Tiara's question quickly
Yeah.
about preparing for the speech.
Yeah.
I think my biggest mistake was writing a speech.
Mhm.
That was my mistake. Because the second I wrote something down for me on paper, I stopped being Sheldon and I became this other thing.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing is whoever that person was that you were this entire game, you were the nicest person, the evilest person, don't change in that final tribal council. Because people will say, as they did to me, who the fuck is this guy? Who
Yeah.
is this girl? So be yourself, write down points. Make sure you know the specific points you need to talk about. I would never write another speech again. That was probably my downfall. Okay, we'll see you in about 3 hours when the jury might vote for the winner of Pandemic Safari Silvercrest, which nobody still knows what a Silvercrest is, but that's okay.
We now have our jury here with us tonight. As well as you all notice, with our final three, we are missing one person. In that case, it is Destiny. So right before the immunity challenge that was supposed to happen at 10:30 tonight, Destiny had a work conflict. Things got like a little too emotional. Things got a little bit sporadic, out of control. She left the tribe chat. She left her confessional. It was not a good sight to see. We tried to talk things out with Destiny, see if we can delay the challenge to midnight. We talked things through with Kylie and Tiara to see if they want to delay the challenge. They both agreed to delay it to midnight. At around 11:35 this evening, Destiny announced she's quitting the game. She left her tribe. She left the tribe chat. She left her confessional.
And
So, in this case, originally we were going to have an immunity challenge, and then that person, whoever won, gets the sole vote of who they want to take with them to the end. That is no longer the case. Right next to my left, or in this case, in reverse, right next to my left is Kylie, one of the two finalists, and Tiara on my right, or on my left, are both your new final two for Survivor Pandemic Safari Silvercrest. So there is no vote off. Destiny will be attending the jury. She will have a deciding vote on who she wants to win this game. Obviously, for this circumstance with this, obviously on our end, there was nothing that we could have done. We tried everything we could to comply to make things work, but obviously production isn't really happy, or in this case, I'm not happy with the way things turned out. And a lot of us here are probably sad, frustrated. I would like to ask any members of the jury on how they felt about that real quick. And if anybody wants to lay things off their chest in regards to that, feel free. Yes, Mike?
I get that like life is more important than this game. So I wish Destiny nothing but the best. But for everybody, I think we all put a lot into this game. I know the host put a lot into this game. So it's just disheartening that someone would quit, especially at Final 3. Trevor, I'm sure you are fuming right now because you could have had that Final 3 spot. So I feel terrible for you. Again, you know, best of luck to Destiny. Nothing bad to say, but it just sucks. I think everybody put too much work into this game for someone especially that close to not let us see how it would have panned out if, we would have been able to see how it panned out. But, that's the way it works. I don't know.
Anyone else?
No, because I feel like we don't know why it got so emotional, so I don't feel like we should say anything.
That's fair.
Okay. So, on to better things. We're moving on. Destiny's out of the game. There's no vote off, no immunity challenge. This round is now officially over. We now have our final two, Kylie and Tiara. They will now face the jury. In this case, 9 people that you had in hand, indirectly or indirectly voting out, now control your fate in their hands.
Right.
Go get some sleep. Tomorrow, we'll prepare for your final tribal council. Grab your stuff. Congrats making it to final 2. Good night, everyone.
Congrats, ladies.
So crazy to be in final 2. Just because when you start the game, you always that's the point of playing the game. You envision yourself at the end and you envision yourself winning. But after 39 days and so much that happens in the middle of the game to actually be at this part is insane. I think probably the best thing that I did, besides just trying to be as social as possible, is being adaptable. I know people in this game have talked a lot about me and having friends on the jury and how that could potentially be a problem for anyone that makes it to the end with me. But honestly, I think that just shows how adaptable I had to be. I have friends on the jury because all of my allies were systematically voted out night after night, round after round. And so to make it to this point when basically everyone I was working with was taken away from me is a huge deal. And I think that's just been my game the entire time, just adapting to whoever was still in the game, having to recalculate how I thought things would go, just being able to figure out new ways to move in this game and figure out new ways to keep myself safe from vote to vote. Antonio, Bill, Logan, Mike, JT, Ryron, and Trevor. Normally I would announce Destiny, but Destiny left the jury chat, so we just only have 8 jury members tonight, and 8 jury members will be voting. So, first off, I want to say congratulations to Kylie and Tiara. You both made it as far as you go in this game. The power now shifts to the jury. 8 people that you had in hand and directly or indirectly voting out now control your fate in their hands. So I'm going to first start off with opening statements, 1 from each for Kylie and Tiara. You each have 5 minutes, and I will be timing it to plead your case on why you think you are the deserving of the title of Sole Survivor for Survivor Pandemic Safari Silvercrest. Then afterwards, 1 at a time, each jury member from the earliest food order, starting up from Kaysen, and then we end up with the last person eliminated in the jury. In this case, that is Trevor. And we'll go in particular order. Each of them has a total of 10 minutes. They do not need to use the 10 minutes if they choose, if they wish, but they only have 10 minutes to address
both finalists on their questions. After that, then Kylie and Tiara will lead off their closing statements. And then from that point on, the jury can then soak all the events that happened throughout tonight. And then they will cast their vote for who do you think is the most deserving of the title of Sole Survivor for Survivor Pandemic Safari Silvercrest. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay, let's begin with opening statements. Kylie, you can go off mute first. You will have 5 minutes to plead to the jury with your opening statement. And your time starts now. Good luck.
Okay, so first I want to say that I've had a great time playing this game. I mean, most of y'all know I am a stay-at-home mom for the majority of my time. I do teach early in the mornings, but it has been a fun way to fill my days the last month and a half, getting to know all of you and learn about you and your lives, and hopefully I can walk away from this with some true lasting friendships. I'm excited to tell y'all about my game. I do think that I played under the radar for a lot of the game until I was no longer on under the radar, and I became a big target. To me, Survivor is a combination of strategy, social, and a little bit of luck mixed in. I think you can see all three of those in my game, and hopefully I can expand on them more. I know several of you might feel betrayed by me, and I'm ready to answer those questions, and hopefully I can give you a satisfying answer as to why I made the decisions I did. But each decision that I made was with the intentions of getting me here into this final seat. And so that is why I had to make some of the decisions that I had to make, why I had to lie to some of you. But the way that I see my game is I tried to position myself so that I was in the middle, and I was always a swing vote. Each side of there was really two sides to the game, and each side every round was counting on me and depending on my vote. And even though I would burn a side, I still managed to keep myself in that middle position where whether or not you trusted me and believed me, I don't know, but for whatever reason you needed me to vote with you. And so I'm excited to explain more about that. I'm ready to hear your questions and hopefully answer them. So thank y'all.
Okay, thank you. Tiara, go off mute. Your 5 minutes start now. Good luck.
Okay, I first want to just start off by saying that I've had a great time getting to know all of you and playing this game. For me, this is my second org only and my first Zoom one, so I had no idea what to expect coming into it. It's intense. It definitely is. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't, but it's also been super fun. It's been kind of like the second half of my life for the last month and a half. Basically, my days are I go to work and then come home from work, and right as soon as I'm walking in the door, I'm thinking about the game and getting on phone calls and messaging people. And some of you know I even was having chats with you during my lunch breaks and my little 15-minute break. So this really has sort of like been my life, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with my time after the night. But anyway, just explaining my game a little bit. For me, I came into this game just trying to make as many friends as I could. My goal was to have a good relationship with everyone, and then that way, no matter what happened, no one was going to write my name down. And honestly, it was working for a while. And I'm actually proud to say that up until Final Four, my name had never been written down. But I won't lie, things got really murky for me almost as soon as merge hit. As you guys know, most of my allies are jury members. And what that means is that I've had to adapt probably more than anyone else in this game has had to, because you guys, the ones that I wasn't directly aligned with, you took out my allies systematically, round after round. And so what that meant for me is just having to keep restructuring and refiguring out what I was going to do and how was I going to stay alive in this game. And as evidence of the fact that I'm here, I think that I've done that. I'm sure you guys have some questions. Some of you I know are going to have some criticisms, and that's fine. I'm more than prepared to answer those. And just like I said, I've had the time of my life playing with you guys.
Okay, thank you. All right, jury members, one at a time. Each of you will come up on cam where you'll address the two finalists. I need Kason on cam. Everyone else go off cam, please. When it's your turn, I'll tell you to go on cam. Wait for Antonio to get up. Okay. All right, so let the questions begin. Kason, 5 minutes.
Well, probably not going to be that long. I am out and about, but I am going to say congratulations to both of you. You guys both played an amazing game. Obviously, you guys are sitting in the final two, and all of us are sitting here. I honestly don't really have any questions for Kylie. I understand you had to do what you had to do. I don't blame you at all. Tiara, my question is for you. Me being of the people that haven't talked to you at all this whole game, what could you, I just want to get a feel of why I should vote for you. You're muted.
Sorry. Honestly, not getting a chance to talk to you is something that in hindsight, I wish we had that opportunity. But for me, what it came down to in Merge was trying to solidify some of the new relationships that I've already made, as well as realign myself with people that I had been aligned with prior to the tribe swap. And unfortunately, that really didn't leave me a whole lot of time to reach out to you. I think what I've done really well in this game is be adaptable. And like I said, most of my allies are jury members. And I'm not saying that as a brag. I don't think that makes me a lock to get their votes. I understand that obviously they're going to listen to both me and Kylie, and they're going to make a decision based off of gameplay. But I would say that being that my allies are on the jury, that didn't leave me with a whole lot of options. And it didn't leave me with a whole lot of wiggle room. And the fact that I was able to make it here even without that wiggle room, I think says something about the game that I played.
Sorry, did not mean to go off camera. No, yeah, I just wanted to keep it short and simple. You were the only hard one that I was having a hard time trying to figure out how your game was and everything. And you know what? The rest of the jury did a fair job of explaining everything to me and kind of giving me a good headspace of, you know, if it was you two in the final two, where would my head go? So thank you for elaborating on that. Kylie, I love Tree Leaf. Keep it up. And once again, congratulations to both of you ladies. I am very proud of you both, and good luck to both tonight. That's all the questions I got.
Okay, thank you, Kason. Antonio, you're up.
Hi, girls.
Hi, Antonio.
So, as you know, I worked with both of you for a time in the game, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed our conversations, all that jazz. I really don't have too many questions. The only question that I do have is about you guys' jury management throughout the game. So I have one last game for you. I've seen it done in other orgs, and now it's my turn to do it. So I want you guys first to start out by closing your eyes. And I'm going to go down the list of the jury members. And if you think you have their vote tonight, I want you to raise their hand. Or raise your hand, sorry, not there. You can't reach to the camera. All right, so let's start. If you think you have Kason's vote, raise your hand. If you think you have my vote, raise your hand. If you think you have Bill's vote, raise your hand. If you think you have Logan's, raise your hand. This is interesting. If you think you have Ryron's vote, raise your hand. If you think you have Trevor's vote, raise your hand. If you think you have JT's vote, raise your hand. And last but certainly not least, if you think you have Mike's vote, raise your hand. All right. We're all done, ladies. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you for your time. Congratulations to you both, and may the best woman win.
Thanks, Antonio.
No problem.
Bill, you're up.
Hello, ladies. Congratulations. Very excited for both of you. I think you both deserve to be there. And I will tell you, although at various times I've had a particular lean one way or the other as to where my vote was going, I am pretty much a live vote tonight. I don't know where I'm going, so hopefully you will instruct me. So, good versus evil, loyalty versus betrayal, both of which are valid strategies. So I want to know which one played out the best. Tiara, I want to start with you. First of all, you talked about the fact that you were loyal all the way through. You were the last of your allies standing. The problem with, well, one of the issues with loyalty is that when you're in a group like that and when you're working together, your individual efforts can get lost in the mix. So tell me what you did both when you had that group together and afterwards when all of your allies were gone. What did you particularly do to forward yourself to where you are now?
That's a good question. The one thing that I did is I always had relationships with everyone throughout the game. So while I definitely had my set alliance, it didn't mean that those were the only people that I talked to. It didn't mean that those were the only people that I strategized with. And I do think that that's something that helped me once all of my allies were gone, because it allowed me a little bit of wiggle room to continue to talk and strategize with the people remaining in the game. I think had I not done that and then tried to do that after all of my allies were gone, it wouldn't have worked very well. And I would have been the very next person on the jury. As far as individual moves, I know everyone is already heard the story about Logan's pitch to get out Danny. And it was a great idea, but I do think that I carried a lot of weight in why Danny ultimately went home. Logan pitched the idea to me first before anyone else. And I think that I gave him the confidence to be able to then go and pitch that move to the rest of the tribe. The day of that tribal, Antonio and I had multiple conversations about whether we were going to actually vote out Danny or not. I actually was the one that told Antonio not to tell Danny, because we knew that Danny would go off and that would ruin the entire move for everyone. I also had a conversation with Mike that day where I said, let's do it. I know Mike was a little bit on, or at least to me, he appeared to be a little bit on the fence regarding that move. And so just having those conversations and making sure that everyone was on board so that that move did go off without a hitch that night.
Thanks. Kylie, I think first as an aside, somewhere in the answer to the question, work in why you term your game an under the radar game. But
I'm sorry, say that again. What did you say?
I'm just saying, you called your game an under the radar game, that your plan was to play an under the radar game. I'm wondering, just during the course of the question, if you lay it out, how do you see your game and as you progressed, especially post-merge, as being an under the radar game? Okay. But my main question is, it's when your game plan is unlike the loyalty side, when you go to maybe the dark side and betray people, and you basically, the way you described your game, you kind of flopped back and forth. You were the ultimate flopper. I want you to explain to me, make me understand that that is a strategy rather than simply going whichever way the wind blows.
Okay, sure. I'll explain it. So, and I think it kind of relates into playing under the radar. So I think that maybe one answer can answer both questions for you. So when we got to the merge, right before the merge, I was in a tribe that was 3 original members, me from my original tribe and one other person from their original tribe. And so I was not on the right side of that of the numbers going into the merge. And I saw Tiara, Antonio, and Destiny as a 3. You had told me that you had a prior relationship with Ryron and Logan. And so when I was coming into the merge, I was like, okay, like there's these 6 people that I feel like maybe I can go with them, but I'm going to be at the bottom. I have a conversation with JT and tell him like, I don't feel secure where I'm at, and really hit home of like, I'm open for grabs. Like I am not set with going with this side. Like, why use me? You use me as a vote. And so I convinced JT that I was going to vote with them. And as you know, that was where I really feel like me, Mike, Ryron, and you, Bill, made up that move to get Kaysen out and to blindside him. I then was like, okay, that should show my loyalty to Ryron and Bill, make them feel good about me. And I really hammered home the Maji versus Niasi, Logan versus JT. And I wanted to keep those 2 in as long as possible. And I know there was times where I had conversations with people when they were so frustrated because I didn't vote out JT, or I was drinking the JT Kool-Aid, but I wasn't. I strategically wanted Logan and JT to stay in as long as possible because they were always going to be a bigger target than me. And so I did that. The next move at round 10 is where we had these split tribes and I didn't have to go to tribal council. I think that allowed some time to pass, and JT and Trevor were able to trust me, even though the vote before I had betrayed them. But enough time went by that I was able to get in good with them. And that is where we ended up voting you out, Bill. And that was hard because I did enjoy our time that we got to chat together, but unfortunately, I felt like I was never going to be in as good with you as you were in with Ryron and Bill and Logan. And so I had to make the decision to cut you. And once again, I was in that swing vote position where you needed my vote, the other side needed my vote, and I made the decision. 2-minute warning. Okay. Then at the next vote, once again, Logan's side needed my vote, and we had a Zoom call right before it. I convinced them that I was with them, and I don't see it as flipping and flopping from one side to the other because JT, Trevor, Mike, and I had come up with a move that we called the Big Dick Operation because we drew it out on a whiteboard where if certain things happened, we were going to have to go like this, and we were going to split the votes. But what JT and Trevor didn't know is that I got Destiny to flip her vote to vote out Logan. Ryron was supposed to go that night, but I did not want Ryron to go because I thought Ryron was closer to me than I was with Logan. So I got Destiny to flip her vote and vote out Logan. JT and Trevor didn't know that that was going to happen. And so I think that's the point where I really took ownership of my game and no longer was under the radar. And I think I'm probably about out of time.
Okay.
So I hope that answers it.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Logan?
That's actually perfect, Kylie, because it leads into exactly the problem I have with your game. That move right there was, I feel like, when you screwed up. Because your whole strategy of keeping me and JT in the game was 100% correct because we would always have been bigger targets. So how can I, like, your game imploded at that point because the next move was obvious. The moment I got voted out, I knew the 4 of them were going to vote out you or Mike.
Okay, sure. So do you just want me to respond to that statement first?
Well, yeah, like, do you not see that as a mistake? Because they wouldn't have.
I don't see it as a mistake because at that point there's only 8 left. Like, we don't know if this is going to be a final 2 or a final 3. At a certain point in time, we can't leave Logan in, we can't leave JT in. Everyone saw you as a huge threat, everyone saw JT as a huge threat. And at a certain point, you have to get those 2 people out of the game. And that was the point where that night it was going to be you, JT, or Ryron. And I basically got to make the decision on who it was going to be. And I was closer with JT and Trevor, and I was closer with Ryron, and so I wanted to flip it, and I wanted to get you, who I saw as one of the biggest threats, out of the game. So no, I don't think that it imploded then. My idea all along was to take a shot at each side. Kaysen.
Yeah.
Antonio, even though I didn't get to vote in that one. And it was a shot to each side until there was no longer these huge groups, but the groups on each side were getting dwindled down till the people that were in the middle, me, Mike, Destiny. And I really think that my relationship with Destiny was very under the radar. Multiple times JT told me that he had Destiny in her pocket, but I don't think that he did as much. I had a final 2 with Destiny, I also had a final 2 with Mike, and I was like playing like therapist between the 2 of them because they hated each other. And I still managed to get them to vote with me in the move that I wanted to vote for. So no, it had to adapt when Mike got voted out, but I still managed to keep Mike as a bigger target in front of me than making myself a bigger target.
Yeah, but see, my problem is your game went from being like strategy and social to then you needing to win challenges. Because if you wouldn't have won that one, you would have gone home instead of Mike. And then at 4, if you wouldn't have won, you would have gone home instead of Trevor.
I don't think that I would have gone home over Mike, even if I hadn't won. If Mike had won immunity, and JT and Trevor can talk about it when they get their chance, but I think that my relationship with JT, Trevor, and Destiny was good enough that I would not have gotten voted out. And only they can speak on that because they were in the game with me at that moment. But I feel like my social connections were still strong enough that even at that point, I wouldn't have gotten voted out if I hadn't won immunity.
So, okay, and you also think then that in the final 3, if Tiara won, she's taking Destiny and Destiny's going to take you? I think Destiny would have taken Tiara as well. So you would have had to win the final.
I feel almost positive that Destiny would have taken me.
Okay, we'll move on to Tiara then. So you covered the Danny part, but that reminded me. So like, can you explain to everyone else all the other times where you took extra time to be strategic and no decision you made was off the cuff and like immediate thingy, like you took time to actually thingy. So can you like explain to other times when you didn't do what was necessarily best for you, but best for the overall alliance that still ended up pushing you forward and kept us all together?
Yeah, I think there was definitely multiple times. When we had the big group tribal where Robert was voted out, Dunia offered up Robert, and I was more than fine to do it because what it meant I knew Merge was going to be pretty close, not right away, but I knew we were getting closer and closer to it. So for me, I looked at it, well, absolutely, we'll get rid of one of yours because that keeps all of Maji alive in the game to hopefully make it to Merge, and we'll have the numbers. Another time was actually the tribal right before Merge. Kylie alluded a little bit to it earlier, but we were on the same swapped tribe together with Antonio, Destiny, and Zach. And it really was a question for me and Antonio of whether we were gonna vote out Zach or whether we were gonna vote out Destiny that night. And what I decided at the end, because I had a chat with Zach literally right before that tribal, me and him hung up at like 9:55 after talking for like an hour and a half. And obviously tribal was at 10. And what I decided was that Zach needed to go. And Zach needed to go, not because I didn't think that I could personally work with him, but I didn't think that I'd be able to bring him into the the grander scheme of things. I thought that he would always have other connections that he had built on his original tribe, and that wasn't good for me or my overall alliance. So for that reason alone, Zach had to go. When it came to the Kaysen vote, and Logan, you know this specifically, I told you and several other people that I didn't care who went with that first vote as long as it was JT, Trevor, or Kaysen, because I saw the three of them as huge targets. And I said over and over again, repeatedly to multiple people, we need to get one of them out. Makes no difference to me which one it is, but it's got to be one of those three.
Can you also, because everyone else is terrified of me, and I'm a giant, huge, apparently horrible threat. So why choose to work with me?
I chose to work with you simply because of that first conversation that we had where you pitched Danny. And I chose to work with you because you were so perceptive and you correctly saw exactly what was happening, even though we were trying to downplay it. You basically told me that you saw me, Danny, and Antonio as a strong 3. You saw yourself in 4th place on that alliance. You also correctly guessed what that first challenge was going to be. You correctly guessed what most of those scavenger items were. So having that conversation with you and having you be so perceptive as to the game and what was going on, I said, this person has so much knowledge, and we got along really well, which also helps, that I thought that was going to be super useful to me moving forward in the game.
It was. You made the right choice. I appreciate it. But what else? Yeah, they're gonna think you kind of flew under the radar too much and you kind of got dragged here, but
I'm well aware.
They'll play up some more things you did later too. But yes, I'm very impressed with both of you actually. Like, I just think that yours marginally fell apart, whereas I love that you pointed out that you weren't in danger up until the final 4. So I guess I'm done.
Can I say something in response to that? Josh.
I'm gonna go with no. All right, bye.
Okay, Josh, can I say something in response to that? Because I feel like it's
my
relevant.
time.
Well, Logan, you decide we want to do your time. You have 2 minutes.
Oh, fine, go ahead. Say
what
you want
y'all
to say,
probably don't know is in that final 4 vote, when Destiny and I went into the breakout room, Destiny is the one that switched her vote from Tiara to Trevor. And so I also feel like that kind of shows, Logan, whenever you asked me, did I really think Destiny would take me at the end? And the answer is yes. Like, I convinced her that we could not let Tiara or Trevor have that on their resume and that we had to make a decision. And Destiny changed her vote from Tiara to Trevor. And so I kept Tiara in the game at Final 3.
I assume she changed her vote because at that point was guaranteeing you'd pick her, and then Tiara would too.
She voted Tiara originally, so she knew that Tiara wasn't going to take her.
Tiara, who would you have taken? Would you have taken Sally, or?
I think that's actually interesting because me and her had already said we would take each other. So I think it's interesting if you're saying that she felt like I wouldn't take her.
I don't know if she thought you wouldn't take her. She was willing to cut you at Final 4, though, because she wrote your name down, and I convinced her to keep you.
I feel like she probably thought Trevor would have taken her too. So, like, she probably wasn't sure if you were going to take her.
She knew that I was going to take her. Like I said, our relationship was really something that not a lot of people knew about. And like I said, if she hadn't switched her vote, then it would have been Trevor staying and not Tiara, because Destiny was willing to cut Tiara at 4. So
I don't think Destiny was controlled by anyone, but yes. But I think she made.
I think that we had a good alliance.
All right, fine, I'm done. Bye. Good luck.
Right on cue. Mike, you're up.
All right, first and foremost, I want to say congratulations to the both of you. You both played great. I think you're both amazing people. I look at this game just the way that Survivor wants us to: outwit, outplay, outlast. Both of you obviously outlasted. I'm not going to ask you anything about that because I'm sitting here at home, and you guys are sitting there at home, but in the final two. So we're going to move on to outplay. This is an online Survivor game. The challenges are great nonetheless, but you guys aren't staying up on a freaking pole in the middle of the Pacific for 10 hours and blowing our minds. So it comes down to immunity challenges. I think Kylie won 2 and Tiara won 1. Close. That's close. So whatever. The outwit part, and my question goes to Tiara. A few things that you mentioned were the Danny vote, where you could have flipped Antonio. But I mean, you also have to take in consideration that me and Destiny also could have flipped on you and Logan or Antonio. And also, that was the first vote of the game. Now, you also talked about how you made relationships. You got home from work, you got on call, you talked to people. And I see, if you don't need someone in the game, then yeah, you don't put as much time in with them. But every single time we talked, I initiated it, and I was still in the game. I made it the final 7. So that's bad jury management, in my opinion. The Kaysen thing, he went home like that when we got to the merge, so I understand that. But with me, I understand where you may not have thought you needed me, but you may need me for a vote in the final 2. So, you maybe should have talked to me a little bit more. And as far as the outwit part of the game, I think of before the merge, I had a good read on everything because Tiara, I worked with you to get Danny out. And then Kylie, I know that you were on the bottom of in the beginning of the game, and you had to adapt going into the merge. Now, the merge is where I'm going to most likely place my vote because it was relentless. It was brutal. Like you said, Tiara, it was another you had 2 full-time jobs. You had your full-time job and Survivor full-time job. And I get that. We all did. But where I see the outwit part, I see Kylie getting 1 vote wrong the entire time at the merge in me. She didn't vote me. Who knows if that was out of loyalty? If she just didn't, and I'll ask Kylie about that too. But I believe you got 2 votes correct the entire merge. You were on the right side of the votes 2 times. So I understand where you're saying your allies are on the jury. This is the final 2. So Kylie's allies are on the jury too. She didn't have anywhere to hide, like you didn't have anywhere to hide. But I can't vote for someone just based on aligning yourself with the right people. So tell me what you did during the merge, keeping in mind that you were only correct on 2 of the 10 votes, and Kylie was only wrong on 1 of them.
Yeah. So if I can answer something else that you said really quick, you talked about how you initiated the conversations, and you did. What I would say to that is, and as you're aware, on our original tribe, you and I were starting to build a really good relationship. I did feel really good about you. Obviously, where our relationship kind of went wrong is with that team vote out. I've said it before, I'll say it again. That was always going to suck for me that night, just because of the way that the teams were split. We were on the team together with Destiny and Antonio, who I was also aligned with. And we were up against JT, who we all pretty much knew had an idol. Where I feel like where our relationship fell apart a little bit is because Destiny told me that you and JT got on a call with her trying to figure out who the vote was going to be on, whether it was going to be me or Antonio. And for me, because you were on the call after you had told me that you were going to stay out of it because you said you had the idol, so you were going to be safe. But so one, the fact that you clearly weren't staying out of it, and 2, the fact that I had to hear about the call from Destiny as opposed to you, it felt to me like you had taken a strike against me. And it particularly felt that way because I'd had a call with JT where he basically told me to my face that the vote was going to be on me, that he had conversations with all the rest of you. He felt good about you. At that point in the game, me and JT had spoken a little bit, but not a whole lot. And so he told me that it just came down to a connection. Like, me and him had spoken, but it was mostly surface level. It was like whenever I was free to talk, he was at work, or vice versa. So we'd never been able to, at that point, we hadn't yet been able to really connect, whereas he had the time to connect with you guys. So for me, looking at it that way, I'm feeling like JT is going to target me, and now I'm finding out that you're working with him. That to me just completely made it clear to me that I was going to go along with the plan to target you. And I do feel like our relationship took a little bit of a hit after that. And so I didn't reach out to you after that. And to be fair, you didn't reach out to me immediately afterwards either. Eventually you did, a few rounds later, and we started to we cleared the air and we started slowly having more conversations. But that is, for me, where our relationship took a hit. To answer the rest of your question,
well, can I touch on that before, because I'm going to forget, you know how I am. What I would say is, even before that vote, I felt when we got to the merge, you didn't put the time in with me that you should have. And also, all of that would make sense completely if you had found out that I was working with JT prior to already targeting me. I knew you and Antonio were already voting me. And that's why I was like, okay, which one of them are we voting? So I understand if, you know, you thought our relationship took a hit because I was potentially going to target you, but I wasn't going to target you until I found out that you and Antonio believed that JT had an idol. And then you were like, all right, fuck it, we're so close with Destiny, we're gonna vote Mike out. That's why I faked an idol. That's why I did all that shit. So it would all make sense, and it would be like, yeah, that's a great move. You know, you knew you couldn't trust me, so you vote me, all that stuff. But I had already found out by, you know, we could talk to the other side of the game that wasn't even in the tribal. I knew from them even that you and Antonio were targeting me. So for you to say that, you know, that's where our relationship took a hit, you and Antonio chose to take that shot before I even decided to fake an idol or, you know, pretend I had something that everyone in the game knew I didn't have.
Let me respond to that, because actually for me, it wasn't a done deal that I was going to vote for you. And actually, I'm not sure whether JT remembers. If he does, maybe he can say it when it's his turn to talk. But when I had that call with JT and he deliberately asked me what I was going to do with my vote, we did talk about the possibility of me throwing my vote because I didn't want to vote any of my allies. So for me, it was not a done deal to vote for you.
Okay, so then my next question is, if you know, we talked about outplay, Kylie won 2, you won 1, pretty similar. No, I don't think anyone's going to vote on that basis. Outlast, you both are here, we are all here. Outwit, how did you outwit Kylie? And you were on the right side of the vote only twice in the merge, and she was only on the wrong side of the vote once in the merge until this exact moment. How did you outwit Kylie?
For me, what I would say is that at the end of the day, I chose to trust the people that I was aligned with. I chose to trust the people that I spoke to. Looking back, was that the right decision all the time to make? Probably not, no. But I still stand by making those decisions because at the end of the day, Survivor is nothing if you don't trust someone. You know, it would be nice to say that I was on the right side of the votes all of the time, but I can't say that, and I won't sit here and pretend like I could. But what I will say is that at the end of the day, I chose to trust the people that I felt really good about.
Okay, so last question for both of you. Tiara, do you feel like you outwitted Kylie in this game? You played a better social strategic game than Kylie did?
I would definitely say I think I played a great social game. Absolutely.
Better than Kylie?
I think I did.
Okay, Kylie?
You're on mute.
No, I think that I played a better social and strategic game, and I think that that's proven in the fact that I was continuously the swing vote and that people continuously needed me to vote with them.
Okay, thank you both. Congratulations. Love you both. You guys are awesome. And way to represent Philadelphia, TR.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mike. Off cam. JT. Time starts.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I just want to say congratulations for making it to the final two. Something that we all failed to do. You both played very different games. I saw one of your games flat out in front of me and tried to target you, but it was a day late and a dollar short because I knew it was going to be a threat to me. And the other one, I didn't see your game, and that's what made me target you because I was afraid of the game that you did have. So my question is going to be very different for the both of you. I'm going to start with Tiara. So I play a very boisterous, loud, in your face kind of game. I want people that I put on the jury to know that I put them there, and that's why they need to vote for me. So my question for you is, tell me something you did in this game that was boisterous and loud and in your face that maybe all of us don't know about.
I would tell you that I wasn't boisterous or loud because that's not who I am as a person. And I would say that I also didn't want to do that because I didn't want to be a target. Like I give you 100% credit. You were a huge target in this game. You are someone we talked about you. You're probably one of the most talked about people in this game. So I give you 100% credit for that. For me, I didn't want that because for me, that meant constantly being a target every round, constantly having to either win challenges or rely on people. And you have to trust somebody at some point, but you also have to understand that it's Survivor and everyone's lying. And I didn't want to be in a position where I felt vulnerable and had to rely on people. And so I intentionally wasn't boisterous. I intentionally wasn't loud because for me, that meant being safe.
All right, and I have a follow-up question for you, Tiara. The question that everybody wants to know the answer to.
Mm-hmm.
The night that Bill went home, who did you vote for?
I voted for Trevor.
Finally!
Yes, I did. And if I can explain why, because obviously I told everyone that I was down to vote out Bill. I knew Bill was going home. There was nothing I could do to save him. There was nothing anyone in our alliance could do to save him. Obviously, I knew that Kylie was flipping. For me, it made no sense to vote Bill for a couple of reasons. Number one, he was already going home. You didn't necessarily need my vote to ensure that he was going home. But also, for me, what it felt like is I'm aware that most of you in this game probably felt that I was playing for 4th or 5th place. I have a different perspective of that based off of the conversations and the connections that I made with certain people. For me, though, even if I was in 4th or 5th place, it made no sense to switch over to your side where I knew I was going to be number 6. I mean, if I got to make a decision, I'd take 4th over 6 any day. Also, not voting for Bill meant that I still had Logan and Ryron as allies. And I didn't see a need for me to flip on my allies and piss them off and leave myself unprotected.
Thank you. Kylie. I love you so much, but I can't stand your ass sometimes. Okay, so my question for you, well, there's a lot, but we'll see what we can fit. So my question for you first is, what is something that you did in this game that no one knows? Or what is something that maybe like only 1 or 2 people know that you did or that you were responsible for?
Okay, so I think I've probably already hit on the ones that I don't think were quite as obvious, and that is the 2 times that I flipped Destiny's vote.
Like I said, we had the plan, our big dick plan. It's really a beautiful thing. You'll have to see it on the whiteboard, y'all. But, in that plan, you and Trevor were completely convinced that night going into it that it was going to be Ryron going home. And I had a conversation with Destiny. No one knew that me and Destiny even had that good of a relationship that I would be able to convince her to switch her vote. And so we knew, me, Mike, and Destiny knew going in that Logan was going home, and that worst case scenario, it would go to a tie vote and that we would revote, and either Trevor or Ryron would went home if Logan had played an idol. But so flipping Destiny, that is a move that was completely mine, and I think that is the one that took me from being under the radar to like, oh shit, this girl's playing. And kind of put you and me a little bit at odds, and that was the point where I could no longer hide the fact that I was having to take shots at both sides. And then, like I said, at the final four, I voted Trevor and Destiny voted Tiara. And I think, JT, you made the comment of like, let them do fire making. And like the heart of you, where I do have a relationship with Tiara, and especially I have a relationship with Trevor, like the friendship part of me wanted them to have their opportunity to battle it out, and whoever got to stay, but I didn't want them to have that on their resume. And so I pulled Destiny into the breakout room. I was like, we can't let them win their way there and earn it, because that only is going to make them look good. Like, one of us has to change our votes. And this is why I think we need to keep Tiara over Trevor. And Destiny was like, cool, girl, I'll change my vote. So.
All right. And then, Josh, how much time do I have left?
3 minutes.
Okay. And then this question is going to go for both of you guys. So if you weren't sitting in so tell me why someone from the jury deserves to win and it can't be me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change that. Kylie, tell me why Logan should win this game.
Logan should win the game because he played extremely upfront and loud. Everyone knew what Logan was going to do, and whether that was his strategy or not, I don't know, but he owned it, and he managed to last as far as he did with everybody knowing the moves that he was making, who he was voting for every round, and he won competitions, and that kept him in the game to the point that he made it to.
And Tiara, tell me why Mike should win this game.
Mike is sort of like Kylie in that he really played the middle, and I'll give him 100% credit for being able to kind of pop back and forth. I know, going back to that team tribal, you told me yourself that you were pissed at Mike because this was right after Kaysen was voted out, and you thought that Mike was going to be loyal to you guys, and he wasn't. But further along in the game, you and Mike were working together again. So I think Mike did an equally great job at being able to find ways to continue to work with both sides throughout the game. And I think that deserves a lot of credit.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much. You ladies both deserve to win in your own right. My mind is getting a little bit more made up because I tried to come in this with an open, thing, but I want to see how you guys answer Ryan and Trevor's questions, and that'll help me make up my mind. But good job.
Okay, thanks, JT. Can you hop off cam, please? Ryron.
Hi. Congratulations to the both of you. I wrote my question down so I won't mess it up. If I can find it. Okay, so throughout the game, I think I worked with both of you probably almost as much as I did anybody else. And I gave you guys a lot of truthful information throughout this game. I'm sure a lot of people have given you a lot of truthful and untruthful information throughout the game as well. I want to know what you think is the best time that you used information to the advantage in your game. Starting with Kylie.
Wow, I love that question. Let me think for a second. So Honestly, I think coming into the merge and seeing these two groups, and JT, our very first conversation is where he laid out for me. Me and Trevor are Rob and Amber. We're Wendell and Dom. Like, we will never vote for each other. We are ride or dies. We're in it to the end. And I've got Kason locked in. I've got Ryron. I've got Mike. And I knew the dynamic more with Logan and Bill and you, Ryron, and Tiara, knowing that, and Antonio, y'all were going to stay together. And so I took that information, and this is where I had a conversation with Mike. Our very, very first conversation that we had post merge, I said, Mike, I don't know anything about you. I don't know if I like you. I don't know if I dislike you, but we have to work together. And we can take shots at these two groups until we're the ones left in the middle that have the majority. And honestly, like, that move set me up for the whole rest of the game. And Mike was someone that, you know, he became my Amber. He can be the girl in the relationship. But so my relationship with Mike became something that did transcend this game. Like I said, a lot of y'all know a little bit about the situation with my daughter. Mike is the only one that knows extreme details of it. We had really hard life talks that go beyond this game, and I was able to put complete and total trust in Mike. And together we were able to make the moves that we needed to make, but then I was also able to use Mike a little bit as my shield, because he is a little loud and he is a little in your face and a little bit more evil than I am. So yeah, that's what I did.
I would say for me, part of why I even formed the alliance that I had was based off of information that I was given about previous relationships. So everyone, I think at this point, is aware that you and Bill and Logan and Antonio all knew each other from a previous game. I think some people are aware that Bill and I also knew each other from a previous game, but I don't think everyone knew that. So surprise. But for me, Logan really gave me a really, really good piece of information when he revealed just exactly how all four of you knew each other, because I knew that of course I knew that I already knew Bill, and I was sitting on that information. I didn't want anyone to know that, because obviously if people knew that, that was going to be an obvious reason for them to target us. But when I got that information from Logan, then for me, that solidified that alliance for us, for me, because obviously I already felt great about Bill. Me and Bill were allies in the last game that we played together. So I already knew I wanted to work with him. I was already working with Antonio at that time. So working with Logan and then finding out that you knew them as well and that they felt great about you just solidified that relationship between you and I for me.
Joe Johnson.
Okay, how much time do I have?
We have a little over 5 minutes.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna ask a fun question. So, think of all the lies that you've been told in this game, the ones that you obviously knew were lies or figured out were lies. Which was your favorite lie that you heard? Can't be a lie you told. It has to be one that you heard that was your favorite. Tiara, go first, because Kylie went first last time.
Okay, my favorite lie is this one that Antonio got some sort of advantage, or I don't know what it was, like the steal a vote or something, I think it was, and that the part of the rule was that he had to gift it to someone. He couldn't hold on to it for himself, and so he gifted it to me. That's definitely my favorite.
Ryron, you get my favorite lie. Pinky swears. So me and Ryron at Final 6, we made a pinky swear to each other, because Ryron said a pinky swear to him is like swearing on your mother's grave. and that if they pinky sweared me, they would absolutely never write my name down. And so I was like, well, hell yeah, let's pinky swear. And we were both lying to each other's face. I'm pretty certain we both knew that we were lying to each other's face. I got off as soon as we made a pinky swear and did a confessional. I was like, I don't give a fuck about no pinky swears. So I hope that this does mean something to Ryron, but it doesn't mean shit to me.
And it usually does.
And then like right before that tribal council, I sent Ryron a message like, hey, we're good, right? And they were like, yeah, we're definitely writing Destiny's name down, knowing good and damn well we were both writing each other's names down. That's my favorite lie.
All right, I'll take it. That's all. I'm gonna stop bugging you now.
Thanks, Byron. Trevor, close us out.
Hello, hello. These are my favorite people in the world. First of all, I want to say that you guys 100% deserve sitting in these spots, and I just want you to like be proud of that moment, because like I think all of us like covet that moment so much in this game, and I just want to like give my amends that you guys made it there. You did a fantastic job getting there. I do not fault you for a single decision you've made in this game, because you are sitting in the final two and we are not. And so like be proud of that moment and be proud of what you've done in this game. I just want to give a couple highlights, and then I've got a question, the same question for both of you. So first, Tiara, my perception is that you've played, and you've kind of like touched on this whole time, that you've played this loyalty game through and through, and that is the game that I wanted to play, but you obviously played it much, much better, because you are giving your shot to win this game. And so I absolutely respect the gameplay that you've made. There were times when I think that you said this before, that you knew that you were not voting correctly, and yet you still voted the way that you did. And so like I absolutely 100% respect that, because that was the game that I kind of wanted to play, but you obviously played it a whole lot better than I did. And so I give you applaud for that. And then Kylie, it's kind of interesting that we have like two very different gameplay at this point in the game. And so Kylie, I think, played the exact opposite way, where she was, like you said, like in the middle the whole way through this game. She was targeted, she was seen as a threat, but we couldn't get rid of her. She won key immunities that kept her in the game, like especially I think at the final four. You won that immunity, and it's probably you're sitting here because of it. And so we were never able to like really target you because you were so well insulated. Of course, you had Mike, you had JT, you had all of these people, especially like even Destiny, that I didn't even know about. And so like you had all these people that I didn't realize that kept you well insulated. And so like I am just blown away by the fact that you were able to pull all these things off, and that you're currently sitting here like playing in the middle this whole entire time, like just playing the game of Survivor much, much better than all of us. And so I just have one question with these two very, very different styles of gameplay. If you are deemed the winner, how would this season look like? So I guess my question is, how is your gameplay? If you win, how can you say that your game was the best and it represents the entire of Survivor Silvercrest? So whoever would like to start?
Okay, so I do feel like almost every single vote, except for maybe like the JT vote, was like a nail biter. And that is a lot of the reason why I had to kind of lie to people, because there was always like, oh shit, this is going to come down to 1 or 2 votes. And it is extremely crucial that I sell my role to a T of what I need this group to think and what I need this group to think, so that the vote goes how I want it to go. And so I think that if I win the game, then it is a good representation of the chaos that was our post-merge, and that sometimes, you know, you do have to take big risks to get big rewards.
Perfect.
For me, I think obviously in Survivor, like when we think of Survivor, everyone always thinks about like these big characters and like these people who are like loud and abrasive and bold, and like that's entertaining, but I think it's not the only way to win Survivor. I think there's multiple ways to win. I just think it all depends. You know, each cast of people is different and you never know exactly how that's going to shake out. You know, it just always depends on who you're playing against. And so for me, I think it would be a representation that you can be whoever you are, whether you're bold and loud, or if you're someone who's maybe a little bit quieter and more reserved, like it doesn't matter, you know, whoever you are, you can still have a shot at winning.
I love that. All right, I think I'm good. Congrats to you both, and good luck. And Kylie, I'm glad you get to keep your cat.
Thank you. I told you.
Okay, thanks, Trevor. Can I have everyone else hop on cam, please? Okay. So, members of jury, you've asked your questions. Now it's time to conclude the final tribal council ceremony with closing statements. I'll pass the floor off to Tiara first. She will have 1 minute to plead her closing statement. And Kylie, you will also have 1 minute. Tiara, you may go first. Good luck.
Okay, the thing that I want to say is I want to kind of go back to Antonio's question, or the game that he made us play. Obviously my eyes were closed, so I don't know how Kylie answered, but as you guys saw, no matter who he asked about, I didn't raise my hand for any of you. And it's not because I don't have any confidence or anything like that, it's because I truly don't believe that anyone's vote is a lock. I think I would be doing a huge disservice to all of you and to this game if I sat here and said, oh yeah, I've got this person, I've got this person, I've got that person. Obviously, we're all here and you guys are listening as we plead our cases. I hope that you have learned whatever it is that you needed to learn. I would love to have all of your votes.
Okay, thank you. Kylie, 1 minute.
All right, so I hope that I did a good job explaining my game. I really wanted to show that, yes, I played the middle, but it wasn't a flip-flop game, but I was in control of it. I was the one that was really steering where each of the vote was going, except for the mic vote, which still breaks my heart a little bit. But ultimately, I had a great time playing with all of you. You know, I hope that you can respect that I did make big moves to get myself here. And that my game can speak for itself.
Okay, that's it. We have concluded now the final tribal council ceremony. That means there's only one thing left to do. It's to cast your vote on who you believe is deserving winner of the title of Sole Survivor and the legacy title of Pandemic winner for Season 5 Safari Silvercrest.
I vote for Trevor.
It is time to vote. Kason, hop on cam. You're up first.
I am voting for this person because I believe they played the best game, hands down. I appreciate Tiara's game, but it just wasn't flashy enough for me. Kylie, you're a great person, and whether you win or not, I feel like you won this game. So
I am voting for the person that I think played a game that I respect more.
I got that the vote. Okay, so first off, I wanted to thank everyone who have played this season. You all put your heart and soul into this game. It is definitely no easy feat, so you all definitely deserve a pat on the back for actually making it up to this point, as well as congratulations to Tiara and Kylie for making it to the end. Also, not an easy way to play a certain game like this. It has been a tough 39 days to make it up to this point, and for that, I truly admire both of you for making it to the end. And no matter what obstacles you may face, no matter what the outcome is with the votes, you both should be proud. As well as my production team, thank you so much for dedicating and putting how much effort that we put right into the season.
Not everything was smooth sailing. There has been some hiccups, but we're willing to adjust and move forward from here. But it's definitely been a great season nonetheless. So with that being said, I'm going to read the votes. First vote. Tiara. One vote Tiara. Kylie. One vote Tiara, one vote Kylie. Tiara. Two votes Tiara, one vote Kylie. Kylie. That's two votes Tiara, two votes Kylie. Tiara. That's three votes Tiara, two votes Kylie. Kylie. That's three votes Kylie, three votes Tiara. Tiara. That's four votes Tiara, three votes Kylie, one vote left. Kylie. For the first time in pandemic history, we have ourselves a 4-4 tie with the last jury member not attending. So here's how I'm going to do this. Because this was unprecedented, and this has never happened before, here's how we're going to do this. I'm letting Tiara and Kylie give themselves 2 minutes to convince any jury members that they want to flip their vote. Once that happens, we'll get one at a time each jury member to come back in to recast their vote if they want to keep it the same or if they want to flip it. But afterwards, if the vote still remains intact, you will not know about that until after the episodes air. And then from that point forward, there will be a way to break that tie. So, without further ado, Tiara, you have 2 minutes to plead your closing arguments, and your time starts now. Good luck.
Okay, I just want to address a couple of criticisms that I know people, whether you said it tonight or not, I think I've been accused of being too nice in this game. I think I've been accused of agreeing with everything. I think I've been accused of being carried to the end. And I also think that I've been accused of playing for fifth place. I'm a nice person in general, so that's just who I am. Whether you meet me through a Survivor game or you meet me in real life, that's who I am. That's who I'm gonna always be. So I'm not gonna change that for a game. As far as agreeing with everything, yeah, that's Survivor. That's literally what we do. We've all said it throughout the course of the night. We've sat in rooms or in Zoom calls with people and we've told them exactly what it is they wanted to hear. That's just how Survivor works. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that you want to hear so that you feel good about me, so that you want to maybe work with me and not write my name down and try to target me. As far as being carried to the end, I know maybe a couple of you feel like my relationship with Logan was more one-sided than it actually was. Me and Logan worked equally together on every single move, sitting and planning them out. But also I would like to say that obviously when we had the tribe swap, we weren't together, so we could not help each other. And Logan's also been out of this game for, 2 weeks now? So I've been in this game for 2 weeks without him. So I'm not really sure how anyone could say that he carried me anywhere. And then the last thing is just playing for fourth or fifth. I would say I have a different perspective based off of the conversations and relationships that I build with everyone. So.
Okay, Kylie, 2 minutes.
Okay, so with my time, I just want to point out maybe the differences between mine and Tiara's games. I feel like most of the things that Tiara's talked about game-wise, which the outwit, the outplay portion, she refers to the pre-merge, and I've been talking about the post-merge and the role that I had in having the majority of y'all sit there. And so I think that the fact that I had to strategize, and the purpose of Survivor is to vote people out. And I was the one that was on the right side of the numbers, and not just on the right side of the numbers by luck, but I was the person that was dictating where the votes went. And I think that that is something that should be applauded. And I hope that some of y'all that maybe didn't vote for me can appreciate that on a game level.
and if there was a criticism like that I wasn't loyal, I was extremely loyal to Mike and I was extremely loyal to Destiny. And so those two relationships, I did never lie to them. I never flipped on them. And I think that even though I did have to not tell a lot of you the truth because I was voting with, against you or wasn't voting how you thought I was going to, like that unfortunately was the part of the game that is hard. And whenever the vote is so close every single time,